Good morning, good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. Just checking I've got everything going okay, all looks alright. Good morning, James Rest. How are you today? Nice to have you here. Link of Hyrule. Oh, hello, how are you doing? No worries, I hope you have a good shift at work. Now, I'm hoping you can hear me okay, you can hear the music, and we should be good to go. This is always good fun. There will be one stream where I'll start and I'll have no issues at all and it'll just go. How is everyone this Friday? Are we all glad it's the end of the week? Right, I'm gonna assume you can hear me okay. It looks alright from this end. I think we're okay. So today I'm gonna make something, I've not actually made it before. So hopefully it goes okay, but I'm gonna do basically like a kind of vegan KFC style bucket with a few different bits and pieces, all in like nice breadcrumbs and a couple of sides. So it seems like a good idea when I thought about it. I probably should have practiced, but I thought, we'll do it here, see what happens. Hopefully it'll be good. And I even got it was a bit of arts and crafts last night and this morning, which I'll show you later on. Oh no. Hello party squads. Right, hold on. I'm gonna try and fix this before we get started, because if this is gonna happen all the time again. Let me see. Audio music good. Well, that's one thing. Now if we could get Stream Elements to stop timing people out, that would be great. I wish I knew what it was I didn't like. Wonder if I can just turn them off. Right, I'm gonna try and fix this just now quickly because we don't want another stream. Oh no! Well, I appreciate the thought, party squads. Obviously, Stream Elements doesn't want me to have any bits. I'm gonna fix it now though, because I'm not having this again, because this is madness. How are you this morning, party squads? Did you have a good rest, a good well-earned rest yesterday after your 12-hour stream? Oh, for goodness sake. Right, okay. Bot spam filters. Okay, I'm gonna see if this. I am hoping that should have made a difference. So we shall see. Not whitelist. Right, yeah. Hopefully that's it. And thank you very much for the 25 bits, party squad. You did not have to do that. I don't fully know what all of these things mean because I've just sat and played about with it. There we go. Yes, fixed. Amazing. Thanks for testing that for me. You woke up an hour ago. Good. I'm glad you had a good lie-in. 10 o'clock. And thank you very much for the bits. Much appreciated. I hope you're going to have a quiet one today after that mad marathon yesterday. Looked like good fun though. Right, so I'm just going to kind of slowly make a start because I've got a rough idea of what I want to do, but not fully. So I'm just going to kind of do little bits at a time, and hopefully by the end of the stream it'll all come together, okay? So basically my idea, we're making vegan KFC chicken. Oh, I'm going to try. So yeah, so my idea is to substitute the chicken for 3 different, oh, Party Squad, thank you very much for all the bits. Again, I'm going to need to get a little cheer thing. I've not done that yet. I'm going to need to, I'll work that out for the next stream. Yeah, so I'm going to substitute the chicken for 3 different vegan things. So I'm going to do, well, the plan is I'm going to do breaded chunky big mushrooms. I'm going to do tofu, and I'm going to do cauliflower bites, all in kind of KFC style batter, breadcrumbs, and then a couple of sides that I'll make vegan as well. So hopefully it'll work quite well. I'm just going to grab the first lot of ingredients that I need. And as I said, I've not made this before, so it could be a bit of a journey, but I'm looking forward to it. And in my head, it sounds like a good idea. So I've got my mushrooms. Hydrate. That was quick. Okay. See, the thing is, I should have started this on like an evening stream, and I could have got some wine or something. Oh, and thank you very much for the subscription, Julian. Much appreciated. I hope this all goes well today for you then, and it's not been a bit of a wait. Right, I'm just going to find, I've got cauliflower in here somewhere. You would think by now I would have learnt to clean out my fridge, but it's half the fun of it, isn't it? Right, so these are our 3, I got an emote thing. Oh, see, this is all very exciting. I've got no idea what's going on, but it's very exciting. Right, so I've got a cauliflower, a block of tofu, and some of these very interesting looking mushrooms. So it's a mix of oyster, shiitake, and king oyster. And I'm going to have a little look. What is that? Ah, that looks interesting. I am working on my emotes, so they will be with us soon, hopefully. I'm hoping over the weekend. I'm going to show you the mushrooms that we're working with. So we've got a few different ones. I'm not entirely, I think these are these king oysters? So they're sort of slicey, so I think they could be quite nice as like kind of chicken strips. And then I've got some of these, I think that's a shiitake, isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. So I've got a few of them, and then some of these little ones. So I think what I'm probably going to do is I'll definitely use these ones, these nice big long strips, because I think that makes sense. And then I think the texture of these could be quite similar to chicken because they're kind of maybe a little bit stringy. So let's try some of these as well, and we can see how we go. So the plan with the mushrooms is I'm going to fry them off with quite a hot heat and kind of press all the liquid out of them, and then I'll leave them to cool, and I'll make like a kind of tasty breadcrumbs that you get from KFC, and then coat them in that, and I think fry them. So it's not going to be the healthiest of days today, but hopefully it'll be nice and tasty. Right, so yeah, I think they'll be fine. That'll be enough of those. I'm just going to give them a quick wash so that we can then fry them off, and then they'll have time to cool down. I'm assuming that cooling them down is the right thing to do. I'm not sure what that's going to achieve. Is that maybe to help the batter kind of stick to the sides? Maybe. I might be completely wrong, but in my head it seems like a good idea. I'm just going to give them a really quick rinse and then let them dry off, and I'll grab my pan. It's funny because KFC is not really one that I often have. Even when I could eat gluten, obviously they don't, I don't think, do they do anything that's gluten-free? I think possibly the only thing that they do that's gluten-free are the beans. In fact, I don't think the beans are even gluten-free. The mash is gluten-free and that's it, I think. Mash or a salad, that's what it was. So it's not the best option for me, but even before I was gluten-free, I didn't tend to eat there very much. I'm not sure why, because I do like kind of fried chicken, but I don't know whether it was just because it was slightly further away from where we lived, and obviously at that point you couldn't get it delivered. And I think just like McDonald's and pizzas and stuff were easier for us to get, so that was just the ones we tended to go for. But I'm quite looking forward to this. It should be quite nice. Good morning, B. Salton. How are you this morning? Nice to see you here. Right, what do I want to do? I'm going to season these first, I think, just to give them a wee bit extra flavour. Because that's it, we want as much taste in these as possible. So I think I'm just going to use... I'm going to season them with a bit of herbs, I think, just now. And then kind of spices and stuff we'll put in the breadcrumb. Just realised one of my lights not on. But that's better. Although really, if I'd thought about this, I probably should have put the oil in the bowl. I'll put a little bit in just to help the herbs stick. Happy Friday to you too. I'm looking forward to the long weekend. I completely forgot it was a long weekend until this morning, so that's always a nice surprise. So that should be good. Have you got any plans for it? Are you up to anything nice? I am good, thank you. Glad it's Friday. And I'm not going to jinx it. Touch wood. It looks like the sun's out. So hopefully it'll be a nice long weekend. I'm just going to give these a bit of a mix. So this is literally just to give them a little bit of flavour before we start kind of frying them off. And I'm hoping, I had a look at some of the recipes for this kind of thing, and a lot of them did just use, they left them dry, breadcrumbed them and then fried them. But I thought maybe by doing it this way I'll get a bit more flavour into them. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll all go okay. Doing some spring, summer, well, it's possibly autumn cleaning just about around the house. Hopefully weather's okay to go on a walk. Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? I don't know about you, but it's been raining most of the last few weeks here, so it would be nice to get a little bit of sunshine. Autumn cleaning. To be fair, I don't think I actually did any spring cleaning, really, like proper full-on cleaning. So autumn cleaning could be on the cards for me as well at some point. But you can even see how bright it is coming in the window. I'm curious for the vegan KFC. So am I. So I've made I've made buffalo cauliflower bites before, and they were really, really nice. I think actually nicer than the chicken ones, because I found that the chicken you have to watch. Sometimes it can go really dry. So the cauliflower I thought worked really, really well in that. But then I kind of thought, well, I'm sure there's other bits and pieces that are vegan that you could kind of throw in a batter or do something with, and then put them all together, and you've got like to be honest, I don't know what they're called, but like a KFC mixed bucket. So I'm going to do a couple of sides as well, just to kind of round it all off. But yeah, it's one thing that I've never really been I've not been a fan of KFC. I've just not ever really had it. So it'll be quite interesting. And I'll show you now since you're here. Look, so this was me last night and this morning, doing a bit of arts and crafts. So I went out to the shop last night and grabbed a bucket, which I think looks amazing. So it was just popcorn, but I must have spent about half an hour in the shop trying to find them. And then I just put I got a bit arts and crafty. I tried to do it on the computer, but it was just a bit of a waste of time. So I've just made you can see it better there, a little bucket. So it's copper confetti fried chicken-ish. So hopefully, once it all comes together, it'll look quite cool in there. Right, I'm just gonna I'll pop my other camera on, and then you can see more of what I'm doing here. So I've just got the long strips of some very creative. Thank you very much. I do try. Although it's when I start projects like these, I think I am not creative in the slightest, and this looks rubbish. Good morning, Tron. How are you today? Nice to see you here. I hope you're having a good day, and thank you very much for being my first subscriber. It is much appreciated. I hope you're having a good Friday. Right, so I'm just going to pop these all in the pan. I'm hoping this will work okay. I'm not honestly too sure, but we'll see. The pan possibly should have been dry before I started, but it'll be fine. So I've seen this done before somewhere. I can't honestly remember who it was that did it. It was a YouTube video, I think, and they pressed the mushrooms right the way down to get all of the kind of juice out of them. So that's what we're going to try just now. And I think they did just use the bottom of a pan. This seems so odd. And I can't quite fit it all in because of the handles. But if we move it all over, this seems so wrong. But it's what they did in the YouTube video, so let's try it and see. I mean, it is kind of flattening them out. Good. I'm glad to hear it. I am good today, thank you. Happy that it's Friday and we've got a bank holiday, so a public holiday on Monday. So it's a nice long weekend. Not that it really makes much of a difference to me anyway, but it's a nice long weekend this weekend. And as you can maybe see, the sun is out. Oh, hello, Cloud. Nice to see you. I hope you're well. I should be asleep, but I love food, Sahira. You're not the only one. I do it all the time. I sat up, I think, until about 2 a.m. the other night, just because I was like, I have to see how this dish is finished. I have to see. I can't sleep until I know how it turned out. And that's when you know you've got a problem. Right, I think it's maybe... So I'm going to put the temperature up a little bit. And I'm hoping that that'll help to, I think the problem is I shouldn't have put oil in the pan. That's a shame, I've got this fancy camera and I'm hiding the food under a pan. Oh, it smells good though. Well, there's a lot of liquid coming out of them. So the mushrooms. So I managed to get a little, I had to go to Waitrose. Never ever been to Waitrose in my life. But they had fancy mushrooms. I couldn't get fancy mushrooms anywhere else. So we've got a mixture of, these are king oyster and shiitake. The king oyster, the way they look, they're already cut into strips. So I think they'll make quite good sort of chicken strips. And then the other ones are slightly more kind of textured. So I'm hoping that maybe the stringy texture will replicate chicken slightly, maybe. Fancy mushroom, yeah. Not your regular button mushrooms. Right, I think, you can see how much liquid has come out of them. So that's what we're aiming for. So I think I'm going to tip some of the liquid off. I hear you. And then we can they'll hopefully go a bit drier. And we can get a bit more. I was in my Waitrose last night. Well, I managed to get a delivery because there's actually not a Waitrose that close to us. But for however they do it, I'm not quite sure where it comes from, but they managed to deliver it. So that was quite exciting. That was like it's a whole new world of shopping possibilities. I'm very much an Aldi girl. Right, let's try this again. I mean, deliveries coming into, yeah. And especially with COVID and lockdown, delivery's been a lifesaver. I mean, we've got like a little co-op near us, and to be fair, it is good. But there's only so many things you can get, and I kind of struggle because I am gluten free. The selection can be quite small. You really need to go to a bigger shop to get enough stuff. But I think I've only been, since lockdown, I think I've only been in an actual like big supermarket maybe twice or 3 times because it just scares the life out of me at the moment. It's a pretty name for a store. Waitrose. I wonder where it came from. Maybe someone called Waitrose. Mr. Waitrose, I'm not sure. Right, it's sounding good. It sounds a lot drier. I'm going to turn them over and see how they look. Yeah, they definitely need a bit more. Come on you, a bit more pressing. But yeah, no, they're getting a bit of colour. And I think they are drying off a little bit. Ooh. And this is when you find out that your non-stick pan isn't overly non-stick. Yeah, so I'm hoping doing this way, we'll get a bit extra colour on the mushrooms, a bit extra taste, because normally you can just immediately put them into batter and fry them off. But I'm going to do this and then pop them in the fridge just to cool down, and then we'll put them in the batter and see how we go on. I'm gonna give it just one quick press on this side, and then I think these will be okay, because I don't want to overdo them, because obviously they're gonna be fried quickly when they're in the breadcrumbs. quite fun though. There's something quite nice about squashing mushrooms. Just gonna give it a wee minute or two, and then I think we should be okay. What do we reckon? Yeah. Let's go with that. I don't think I've ever had to clean the underside of a pan before. I'm gonna grab a plate. You can just see my head. Right, grab a plate, and then I'll pop these out on the plate and then put them in the oven. Not in the oven, in the fridge. Oh, I can tell my brain's not quite functioning yet this morning. Oh, they smell lovely though. They do smell good. So I'm excited to see how these turn out. Although I think, to be honest, my favourite part of these kind of things does tend to be the sides, which is quite sad, but I just love to like mashed potato and beans. Oh, love it. A handy size to press down, not yes. Make pressed sandwiches with frying pans. I haven't tried that, but now actually I feel like this has opened up a whole new world of pressing possibilities. So yeah, no, that was lucky. I wasn't, to be honest, I hadn't properly planned that through, and it could have, if I'd used the smaller pan, I wouldn't have had another one to press down on, so it was lucky. What size are you making? So I'm gonna do, I had thought about mash, but it takes quite a long time. So I'm gonna make baked beans from scratch. Again, one thing I've not done before, so I've made like, I think it's more a kind of Spanishy dish where you make, turn you back over again, where you make, it's like a kind of tomato sauce but with butter beans, which really, really nice. But I think baked beans are going to be a whole new thing. Just see, I've got light coming in everywhere here. Yep, so beans, and I'm going to do a coleslaw because I absolutely love coleslaw. And it's one of these things I make all the time, so I thought I'm going to do that and make it really nice and creamy. Johnny Scottish, oh thank you very much for your subscription, Johnny Scottish. You didn't have to do that. How are you this morning? How are you holding up? I'm just popping my mushrooms in the fridge just now, and then I will be back. I feel like I need a second fridge just for like prep. Okay. Coleslaw is great too. Yes. Coleslaw is, I love coleslaw. I could have it with anything. Actually sort of slept weirdly. That's not ideal. That's not how you want to wake up on a Friday. You need to get do a bit of yoga, stretch it out. That'll sort you out. I do quite like yoga for that. You feel like you get a proper good stretch going. Right, so for Johnny who's just joined us and has very, very kindly subscribed, which is all very exciting, all these new things I can do now. I'm making like a kind of fake KFC bucket. So I'm doing some mushrooms, some fancy mushrooms that I had to go to Waitrose for. I'm gonna do sort of like chicken strips with king oyster mushrooms. I'm gonna do chicken pieces with shiitake mushrooms, and then I'm gonna use a cauliflower and do like kind of cauliflower bites, and just kind of, yeah, like kind of chicken bite chunks with some tofu. And then I'm gonna do the sides, I'm gonna do some homemade baked beans and some coleslaw. To make me hungry already. I only just had breakfast, but I'm like, oh, I'm starving. What ingredients are you making the coleslaw with? No, I've not said it already. So the coleslaw, I'm just going to do some cabbage. I'll probably use white cabbage, and then some red onion, some carrot, and I'll make a kind of sauce with mayonnaise, a little bit of yogurt, and some herbs, salt and pepper, that kind of thing. So it's such an easy one to do, but it's so tasty, and it works really well with loads of different things. Right, now I need to decide what I'm doing next. I think I'll tackle the cauliflower next. So I'm just going to kind of chop it down into smaller pieces. And then we're going to do, so this one's maybe not as KFC like. Is it also vegan coleslaw? Yeah, well, normally it is, yes, but I've just realised I don't have vegan mayo. But everything else is vegan, so if you are vegan, you can literally just substitute the normal mayo for vegan mayo and it tastes exactly the same. I've got vegan yogurt, which I use, and I normally have vegan mayo, but today's the one day that I don't. My coleslaw once the sauce had honey in it. Honey is not vegan because, see, I'm not vegan, so I don't know the full ins and outs, but it's not vegan, I think, because it comes from, well, it's made by an animal. I'm sure there is a kind of reason to it, and I'm not honestly too sure, but yeah, I just know that honey's not vegan. Yeah, so you could just add, if you wanted a little bit of sweet in it. So what I'll do is, when I'm making the coleslaw, I finely chop the cabbage first, and then put a little bit of vinegar, I think I've just got white wine vinegar, just a little bit of that, a little bit of salt and sugar, and then kind of bash the cabbage, and it helps to soften it up a little bit so it's not nearly as sort of tough when you're eating it. And then add in the carrots, the red onions, and put the sauce through it, and it works quite nicely. So if you've got a little bit of sugar in there, and that just brings out a little bit of sweet, so you don't actually need any honey or anything like that. Yeah, these are always good fun to try and cut out. And then I just want to try and kind of make little kind of florets. Try and not cut myself. There we go. Oh, I don't know if it's because the sun's out, but is it too late to have hay fever? Because I definitely feel like it's attacking me today. Okay, I'm gonna give this a quick wash, and then we'll start getting off our little florets. And I'm hoping the weather is nice wherever you are as well today. It makes such a nice change to get up and not see the rain. It doesn't happen often. I'm hoping it's not raining where you are, Johnny. You finally got a break from it. Right, so this is going to make quite a lot of cauliflower bites, but if you saw my bucket earlier, I've got quite a lot of space to fill it up with stuff, so that's good. Yellow thing is in the sky. We'll need to find out what that is, Johnny. We'll definitely need to figure out exactly what that is. But yeah, it's a nice sight to see. So with the cauliflower, you can chop it up into small pieces. You can have kind of bigger chunks. It just depends on what you like. I'm probably going to do a wee mixture of both. You don't want them too different to each other though, otherwise they won't cook at the same time. So obviously the bigger ones will need a bit more time in the oven. And then I'm going to almost marinate them and pop them in the fridge, and then they'll go in the oven in a wee bit with a nice kind of buffalo breadcrumbed sauce thing. I think it's such a nice day. I think it's actually giving me a bit of a headache this morning. My body's not used to it. It's like, what is going on out there? Okay, I think I'm going to need to half some of these because some of them are huge. Really should have. I've got no idea. I don't know where it's come from. It is quite nice though, but yeah. And that was the thing I'd set up this morning, being used to having to put all of my lights on. And now I'm getting all sorts of weird shadows. Ah, so it is. Right, hang on. See, I just changed that yesterday to put in my new goals, but obviously didn't actually check to make sure you could see it. So thank you very much, Johnny. Good morning, Jennifer. How are you today? Oh, no worries. I hope it was nothing too boring. Okay. Let me see if I can change this over. Which one is it? Is that going to look weird if I put it up there? Maybe put it right up. Is that better? The weather we're having has been a lot colder lately. Yeah, there's definitely something weird going on with the weather just now. Don't know what's happening, and I think that's when, well, for me that seems to be when my allergies are worse, because it's as if it's like overwhelming my body and my nose is just like, I don't know what's going on, so I'm just going to sneeze. I'm good, glad it's Friday. Yes, I think we all are quite glad it's Friday. Plus it's a long weekend, so that's always good. Another call at 11 though. Oh, hopefully that's the last one. That'd be good, and you maybe get finished a wee bit earlier today. There we go. That looks better. Thank you, Johnny. You can tell you do this, or you've done this before. Although I did enjoy us helping Happy Chef yesterday with his layout. Not gonna lie, I definitely stole a few tips while we were there. Right, so I'm just making all of these a wee bit smaller, because then they won't take quite as long to cook. And if they're all about the same kind of size, they'll cook about the same kind of time. That look a bit better? Maybe half this one. No. See, that's the problem. Once you start halving them, they all end up getting much, much smaller. Right, that looks good. And then we've got this. This is always a bit that I get confused with. Not going to send things around. Yeah, that was it. You could tell he was just desperate to try it out. But I think we did well with the lining up of things, because it was playing with my OCD as well. Right, that looks good to me. So I'm going to grab a bowl and we can start making our batter kind of thing. Oh, try not to drop it on the floor. Oh, feels like it's going to be a good Friday today. I don't know why. I just feel like I'm in a good mood today. think maybe that's it. I think when you wake up and the first thing, my coffee machine's going. I don't know if you can hear that. It's really loud. Yeah, I think if the first thing you hear when you wake up is that it's a long weekend, then it's going to be a good day. Yes, please just or if only. How good would that be? We could all sit and I can make everybody a cuppa and you could help me with the cooking. Maybe one day. And to be honest, I'm not a coffee drinker. I don't do well with caffeine anyway, with the IBS, but I just drink decaf tea, which sounds really dull, but I think it tastes just the same as the regular tea, and I think I would miss it if I had nothing at all. Right, this is going to be a bit of an experiment because I can't remember how I did this the last time. So I want to kind of change it up a little bit. So I'm going to try it and see how it goes. And I feel like in theory it's a good idea. Right. So my wife drinks decaf tea after 3 p.m. Now, see, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. Because you can still enjoy it, but without being like, right, I'm going to be awake all night. That's me. I've ruined my sleep. Only Yorkshire in this house. Yeah, I think because it's been so long since I've had regular tea, I'm not aware of the difference anymore, so it doesn't really bother me. But we drink, to be honest, it used to be Tetley, because I do quite like their decaf tea. And I'm trying to think, Yorkshire tea is a bit harder for us to get, I would have thought. Unless obviously you're going to the big supermarket, but I do quite a lot of my shopping just at the wee co-op. And I don't think they've got the decaf one. But yeah, I tend to it's the supermarket own one. Quite often it's just been like the Aldi decaf tea, and it's enough for me. I'm not fussy enough that it really makes much of a difference. But yeah, I think a decaf tea after 3 p.m. is a good idea. Just finished my coffee, I might need some more. Yeah, it feels like a coffee day. I really drink coffee. Although one thing I did quite enjoy, and I kind of got into it quite a lot, was the whole whipped coffee thing. It was because I do a lot of the food blogging, it was everywhere for a while, absolutely everywhere. So I thought I have to try this and see what it's like and see if I like it. So I tried it with decaf coffee, and it's so good. And I think it's because it's so milky and so creamy that it's really, really nice. It's not, because like a regular coffee I wouldn't thank you for, but a whipped coffee, so good. Red Bull is my saviour today. Oh no, that's not a good sign. Morning all. Good morning, Dinah Doll. How are you this morning? Hope you're having a good Friday. Right, so for the batter, I am just going to put in, I'm going to eyeball it a wee bit. So I'm going to say, oh, no problem at all, Johnny. Thank you for the lurk. And enjoy your lunch. Quite jealous. I hope you have something nice. And if I'm still here when you get back, do let us know what you had. Because I love hearing that. Living through others. Right, so to my plain flour. So that was probably about 4 or 5 tablespoons. Not teaspoons, tablespoons. And to that, I'm going to add some, 15 minutes. That's quick. No worries. I hope you get something nice. Right, so I've got some garlic granules in there. Got about maybe a tablespoon of paprika. And then because I did my fancy shop and got Waitrose, they didn't have any regular garlic granules, so they've sent me this instead. So it's smoked garlic granules. which I've never actually used before, but I'm quite intrigued. And I think that it could go quite well with all of this stuff. Oh my god. That is strong. Oh, you don't need a lot of that. I don't know if that might be too... I'm going to put a little bit in because that's really strong. Smoky garlic. I thought it sounded really nice, but now I've smelt it, I'm not sure. I think it'll be nice as long as you don't have too much of it. I think it'll be nice. Sounds interesting. That's what I thought. I'd never really seen smoked garlic granules, but apparently it's a thing. And I'm going to put in, just see, compared to the garlic, so this is smoked paprika, and compared to the smoked garlic, that smells of almost nothing. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in, obviously not too much, or it'll all be very smoky, and I'm not sure that's what we want. I've never had it, neither have I. I genuinely didn't think, I didn't know it was a thing. I've seen smoked salt before, again, not sure what that's like, and I've not had that either, but the smoked garlic, yeah, I think it would be, I mean, what do they say? So you can use it as a dressing or a marinade for meat. Oh, you could mix it into bolognese sauce. I think that would be nice. If you mix it into a sauce, you would just get like a hint of smokiness and not that full-on whack when you smell it. Right, so we've got that in a bowl. Can I tilt this a wee bit better? There we go, bring it a bit forward. Right, so we've got our flour, paprika, smoked paprika, garlic and smoked garlic. And I'm going to add just a little bit of chili sauce. So this is a bit that I didn't add the last time. I just so we did the batter, put them in the oven, and after a wee while brought them out and then kind of brushed some sauce over the top and then cooked it again. So I thought maybe by putting some in the batter, it might make it a bit tasty because I need to put some water in here anyway. So I'm going to substitute some of the water for the chili sauce. It might be a horrible idea, but in theory I think it sounds like a good one. I've seen fresh smoked garlic. So is that, do they smoke it a bit like they would smoke fish maybe? What am I in here for? My jug. I can imagine while it's smoking, it would smell amazing. But I think the granules are probably more concentrated as well, so they are so strong. Not a fan of garlic, so I've not tried it. Yeah, I mean that one smell, it's so strong because I think garlic granules anyway smell really strong, which I like because I like garlic, but that and the smokedness, it's a lot. Right, so I've put in the chili sauce, which has got a bit lumpy, but we'll go with it. And then I'm just going to slowly add some water just to kind of mix it all together. And then we're going to use this to coat the cauliflower. And I'm just going to add it, I'm adding it slowly because if you add it too quickly, it'll go really runny really quickly, and you want it quite thick because you want it to stick to the cauliflower. It's not really working with a whisk, but we'll get in and about it in a wee minute. Presume so, yeah. I assume that's how they would smoke it, but oh, this is solid now. Just make sure everything is incorporated, and then we'll start thinning it down a wee bit. Well, actually, I think the sweet chilli maybe wasn't such a terrible idea, because you can see the little chunks of chilli. So I think it is mixing through quite well. And I might actually, because this is sort of KFC style. I might put in a few chili flakes. So with my IBS, I'm not great with spice. I'm not great with spice, but a little bit isn't too bad. And that's just a couple of kind of twists of chili flakes, and that, I mean, that's going on a huge amount of cauliflower, so you're not really going to taste it. Hopefully you'll just get a little bit of a wee kick. Got to call in 5 minutes, but anyway, I would imagine I'll still be here in an hour. I've still got quite a lot to do, so I hope your call goes well, and we'll hopefully see you after. Is there a specific place where you get the recipes, or are they your own? So because I'm a food blogger, I do quite a lot of recipe development. So I'll maybe see something that I like, but want to kind of change things up a bit, or say like one of my biggest recipes is the katsu curry, which I did last week, and that was very much a case of trial and error. So just trying to kind of decide what flavours were in the katsu curry and recreate them by putting different stuff together. So sometimes it can take quite a long time to get the recipe right, and then other times I'll just have a wee look online. If I've got a specific idea of what I want to make, I'll Google it first and see if there are any recipes out there. Quite a lot of the time, because I'm gluten-free, I have to adapt the recipe anyway to use gluten-free ingredients, or if maybe it's a meat thing and I want to use veggies or tofu or something, so I'll change it up a little bit there. But yeah, I've got on my website, which I think I've got a little command, hopefully. On my website there's loads of my recipes on there, so if you ever see anything that you like here, I will put it on the Discord if it's one of my own, or if it's somewhere, if I've got it from somewhere. But quite often, especially in the last couple of weeks, I've just kind of made it up as I've gone along. I've had a rough idea in my head of what I want to get and roughly how I can get there, but I've not written it down anywhere. So I'll need to update my blog with some of the recipes of the more recent things that I've done that I have just kind of made up on the spot. So I'm going to see if this is thick enough. So that looks, you can see that it's sticking quite well. I think I'm going to put a little bit more flour in, because we want it slightly thicker than that. So I'm going to put we'll start with about half a tablespoon of flour. And we'll see how we go with that. Because you do want quite a thick batter on this one. I think that looks good. I think I am happy with that. Yeah, so that's not running off or anything. So I think that's a good consistency. Although I say that and it's just ran down my finger. Let's see. No, I think you're going to get a good coating with that. The problem is, I've done these before, and as soon as you make the batter too thin, if you leave it to kind of cool in the fridge, it just all runs off. And then you end up with like a sheet of the batter and then just little bits of cauliflower kind of sticking out, which isn't the nicest. No, so I'm going to do one more of flour. One more of flour. You're better too thick than too thin. Yeah, I think that'll do. Although that seems really thick now. No, that'll be fine. And that's the thing with the KFC sort of chicken and stuff. I think the batter is normally quite thick. Yeah, that looks good to me. So I'm just going to grab our cauliflower that we chopped up and pop it all in here, and then we're going to just mix it around until everything's well covered. And this is where you see if you've made enough batter or not. Often I haven't, but We can always redo it if we need to. And then you just want to kind of keep stirring this around until everything's well covered. Oh, it smells lovely. And then once I've done this, I'm just going to pop them on a tray and put them in the fridge just until I'm ready to cook with them. And as I said, I feel like I definitely could have made a bit more. I might have to get in and use my hands for this. Just because obviously the cauliflower is kind of weird shapes, so you want to get in all of the little bits and pieces in all the nooks and crannies. I think that's quite a Scottish saying, nooks and crannies. It sounds quite Scottish. Oh, it's coming together. We're not too far away now. Yeah. And then these afterwards are going to go in the oven for about half an hour, and about 10 minutes before they're ready, I'll bring them out and I'll make like a little kind of glaze for them, and I'll brush the glaze over them, and then they'll go back in the oven to cook with the glaze on for just about 10 minutes. Right, I think they're looking pretty. I think that's as good as we're going to get them without properly getting my fingers in. Lovely. I'm not even going to put these on a tray. I'm just going to put them in the fridge like this, if I can find a space. Oh, one of these days I will, before I stream, have space in the fridge and have emptied the dishwasher. I always end up in such a guddle. Okay, that looks good to me. That batter looks a lot nicer than the last one I did, so I'm feeling positive. Looking at your website, yes. Well, I actually made the mushroom meatballs on stream last week. What day was it? Was it Monday? Tuesday? No, Tuesday was curry. What day is it today? Friday. I'm so lost. Hold on. If you check back last week, there was definitely a day last week that I made the mushroom meatballs on stream because they are so nice. And they're quite an easy one to make. And I think that the texture that you get from them is quite similar to meat, but nicer because it's sort of softer, and it would make a nice kind of bolognese as well. So if you just made the tomato sauce, you could make up the mushrooms and just not shape them, and maybe just fry them off and then add them to the sauce. I've not actually tried that before, but I think that would be really nice. I'm just going to rearrange my fridge again. It's when you put so much stuff in the fridge and then you're scared to open the door because you think everything's going to fly out at you. Okay, I'm going to pop this off for a wee second. And, and get rid of all of these bits. And then we can start looking. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the homemade baked beans. Again, which I'd said before, I've not made myself either. The only kind of similar thing that I've made to that is, I think it's Spanish. And it's just quite a thick tomato sauce with butter beans in, which is really, really nice as well. But it's got a lot more kind of paprika, and it's definitely a lot more Spanishy flavoured. Whereas these, I'm hopefully going to get them as close to sort of Heinz baked beans as possible, because they're the beans I like. Such a typical British thing to say, but I do like Heinz baked beans. I'm going to try and keep No problem at all, Cloud. It was lovely to see you here. I hope you have a good stay. Where are you based? I can't honestly remember. But yes, thank you for being here and hope to see you again soon. And fingers crossed it all does turn out delicious. That's the aim anyway. That is the aim. East Coast, yes. So, yeah, so bedtime I feel. Right. I'm sure there's a better order that I could be doing this in, but hey-ho. Right, so now I'm going to do the beans. So I'm going to grab my wee pot. I'm quite excited to see how these turn out. I've found a recipe where somebody said that they've made Heinz baked beans. So they are meant to taste just like the Heinz ones, because I find baked beans can be a bit tricky. So anytime I've had like the sort of the cheaper supermarket ones, I find they taste a bit sweet, and I don't love the sweetness of baked beans. I do think they should be quite savoury, and I think in the US they're quite sweet as well. I think that's just the kind of beans that they tend to have. So I was keen to find one that sort of said these are like Heinz. Plus I do quite like the barbecue beans, but with them I need to watch because they've quite often got barley in them, and barley is not gluten free. So, and I think that does have an effect on me, because I definitely feel like I got gluten from it once quite recently by accident, which is good fun. So I'm just going to follow this recipe as it is and hope for the best. Show you the... Oh, so thirsty today. Right. So again, if this one does turn out well, hopefully it will, I'll pop the recipe that I've used on my Discord if you fancy trying it. And if you do try it, please do let me know and send a picture to the Discord so I can have a nosy. Right, that's good. Okay. So, oh, that's nice and easy. It literally just says, I mean, it's 2 pages of instructions, but it literally says place all ingredients in a pot except the beans and stir, and then add the beans. So that's nice and handy. So we'll do that. Wanted to try it for sure. We'll keep an eye out for the recipe. Yeah, I think if these do taste like Heinz beans, I think it could be a really good one, because one problem with Heinz beans is I'm pretty sure they're full of sugar and salt, which is probably why they taste so good. But this one, there is very little salt and no sugar at all. Oh, there's a wee bit of brown sugar, but they've used brown sugars because I think it's supposed to be a bit healthier. So it'll be interesting to see. Right, so let's see, what have we got? So they said chicken stock, but I'm obviously just going to use veg stock. And we want 250 mils. So how many does this make? So I want half of that. Because the recipe the one that I found, this one, it says it's for, I think it was 8 to 10 portions. I thought that seems excessive. And I don't have 4 tins of haricot beans. So I've simplified it down a little bit. And this one, it now says 1.5 cans of beans. But I've only got 1. So I'm just going to use the one, and they'll just be a bit saucier. Which is never a bad thing. 4 tins, that's a lot. I tend to get the reduced salt sugar. Yeah. I've not tried the Branston ones actually. I'll need to try them. It's one of these things, I feel like with things like that, you get used to eating the brand ones. So then as soon as you try any of the other ones, they taste weird, but not necessarily bad. Oh, My nose is away again. Yeah, so they don't necessarily taste bad. Oh, sorry. But it's not what we're used to. And I think that's why I've never kind of gone away from, thank you very much. I think that's why I've just kind of stuck with Heinz. But I'll need to try the Branston ones. Are they a bit sweeter as well? I think that's what I've got in my head, that they are a bit sweeter, but maybe that's just me. I might just be making that up. But yeah, that's 4 tins of beans. That's a lot of beans, especially when I'm not making that much other stuff. So that seemed a bit excessive. But I'm going to make the 1 tin, lots of sauce, and then if I've got some left over, I'll eat them. Bit of beans on toast with some cheese on the top. You cannot beat it. I recommend worth trying compared to Heinz. Maybe I could do like a beans taste test at some point and get a few different ones and try them all and see what I think. But do it blind, obviously, because then you would be biased. And they're less than sweet. Oh, less sweet than Heinz. See, I could be okay with that then. And then I'm the same with the ketchup. It used to only be Heinz that I would buy until I started shopping at Aldi and Lidl. And I thought, it's about 40p or something for this, so I'm just going to go for it. Right. So we've got chicken stock, 250 mils, and then we want 150 mils of water. So that's 375 in total. And one of these days I'm going to get myself a new jug so that I can actually see what numbers I'm at. I think that looks about right. And I'm just going to add it cold because there's so much going into it that I'm just going to add it all in, stick the heat on, and then mix it up. Get Heinz no added sugar. Oh, of course, so you do. And do they taste, I've not tried them, do they taste different? Do they taste better? Can you tell that there's less sugar in them? And are they more expensive? That's probably the important part. Right, and to this, so I've got a feeling this is going to look horrible before it heats up, but... Oh. Well, that's interesting. On here it says 3 tablespoons of ketchup or Aussie British tomato sauce. But surely tomato sauce is ketchup. So we've got 3 tablespoons. Oh, this is going to look horrible. Oh. Oh, that is rotten. Look at it. I maybe should have heated up the water. It'll be fine, it'll be fine. Once it all comes together, I'm sure it'll be lovely. You can just see I don't know if it looks as bad on the camera, but you can just see the tomato kind of floating about. Nice. Same price, don't taste much different, to be honest. Well, that's good. I'll maybe need to try them the next time then. But my absolute favourite are the beans with the little sausages. And, fun fact, I always thought, well, sausages are very rarely gluten-free, especially the cheap ones, because they just fill it with like rusk and breadcrumbs and stuff to bulk it up and reduce the price. So I thought, well, Heinz baked beans and sausages, there's no way they're going to be gluten-free, but they are, and it's amazing. When I found that out, I was so happy. Very easily pleased, but... And then we want 1 tablespoon of tomato paste. Doesn't seem like a lot of tomato things, but we'll go with it. Right, and then I've got another problem. It says to use Worcester sauce. I have Worcester sauce. I think that's how you pronounce it, isn't it? I've never that Worcestershire. I call it Worcester, so I'm going to go with Worcester. So normally it's not gluten-free. I have a gluten-free one, but it has fish in it, which they don't tell you when you buy it. So it's got anchovies in it. So I'm not going to use that. I'm thinking I might use some soy sauce instead. It's not going to be quite the same, but I'm going to play it right. I'm going to keep that out so I can get the smell of it and try and kind of recreate it somehow. Now this is going to be a bit of chemistry, I feel. Right, so 1 teaspoon, so it's not a huge amount. But I think what I'm gonna do is, we got paprika anyway? No. I'm gonna do a bit of a mixture of things. So I'm gonna put in a little bit of soy sauce. And since they're saying it's fish sauce, there's a little bit of fish in, I've got this vegetarian fish sauce, which is made from seaweed, which is actually really nice, and it's a lot less intense than regular fish sauce, I think. Oh, that's a lot. I don't want that much. Right, so just a drop of that. And then I'm also going to add some smoked paprika, because I'm surprised actually that there's not smoked paprika on the recipe anyway, because I would say baked beans do have a bit of a kind of smoky flavour, and we especially want the smoky flavour for our beans with our KFC. So it's about half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, and then we'll get back to the actual recipe. Tomato paste, brown sugar, cider vinegar, and then I've got one cat looking very sad here today. His pal's away to the vet, which is always good fun. So vinegar, brown, have I got brown sugar? I've got coconut sugar, I'm not sure that's quite the same. And this is what I quite like about getting recipes like this. I don't like going out and buying things specifically if I've already got similar stuff in the house. I'd much rather just kind of experiment a wee bit with the stuff I've got. Almonds. Oh, there's some there. There we go. Ideal. Right, and then we've got, don't know what that was. A tablespoon and a half of brown sugar. Yeah, that's what I think. And sometimes if there's things you can't get, then it's good to be able to be like, right, what should that taste like? How can I recreate it? What can I do? What can I add to it to make it taste similar? So we've got a tablespoon and a half of the brown sugar, half a tablespoon of vinegar. Oh no, well, it's nice to see you being back again, and at least you don't have a call to sit through now. That's quite good. And it says apple cider vinegar, but again, I've got white wine vinegar, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Seemed to be a bit little. Right, half a tablespoon of that, and then we want half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and I think, just about, just enough, I would say. I'll need to get some more of that, and then black pepper and salt. Quarter of a teaspoon. It doesn't really seem worth it, does it? And then half a teaspoon of salt. So there's really not a lot of salt in this in the grand scheme of things. If that's half a teaspoon and you're making a tin of beans. It'd be interesting to see what was in like a tin of bought beans. And then I'm going to use these haricot, see that? These haricot beans. Apparently they are like the traditional baked beans. And the good thing with this is we can just stick it on and leave it to simmer for a while, because I feel like with these, especially with kind of tomato sauces, the longer you leave it to cook, the better it's going to taste. Right, just making a bit of space. I'm trying to be good today and tidy up after myself, so that when it's not like normal when I come off and I've got my whole kitchen to rearrange. Right, let's see. So it's saying to add the beans from the beginning, but I think I'm going to cook the sauce a little bit first and then add the beans slightly later on, because I don't want the beans to go kind of too soft. Okay. So it definitely doesn't look the most appetizing at the moment, but hopefully once it all comes together and kind of thickens up a bit, that'll make a difference. The thing, looking at this just now, I'm really tempted to try it, but I know that it's not going to taste nice. Oh, but it smells nice. It does smell quite tomatoey. Ooh, Oh, that does smell nice. I'm glad I put the smoked paprika in. I do feel like that would have been missing if I hadn't done. And I'm surprised that it wasn't on the recipe in the first place. Right, so I'm just going to leave that to come together, hopefully. And then when we're getting a bit closer to it, there is a thickener that you add to it. So just a mixture of corn flour and water. Yeah, so a mixture of corn flour and water, and that'll help thicken it up when the beans are in. Give a bit of smoky. Yeah, I'm surprised that there's not paprika in the recipe, because I would always kind of assume that beans are smoky, but yeah, if I was doing it, I would add a bit of smoked paprika. I'm just thinking I should have put this on the other pot. Oh well. So I'm going to give this a wee minute. Just to kind of come together. And I think I'll drain the beans just so that they're ready. It'll be a wee bit before I'll put them in, but at least then they're ready and I won't forget about them. Oh, and I think we've got... Oh, and I think we've got a happy... Oh, I think we've got a happy cat back with us. Yes, we do. Oh, we have a happy cat. Hang on. I would, but I can't find them to ban. What's going on? See this? Yeah, I'm glad you're here, Johnny. Thank you very much. I should really have taken like a class in Twitch or something so I know what I'm doing. Vegan sausage rolls. Oh, did you get the Greg's ones? I obviously haven't tried them because they're not gluten free, but I've heard some really good things about them. See that smells nice. Sausage rolls. That's one thing that I really enjoy doing, is making my own sausage rolls because they're so easy to do. Plus you can make them gluten free really quickly if you've got gluten free puff pastry. So you just roll it out, add the sausages, roll it together, bit of egg wash in the oven. So good. We've got one very happy cat. Away getting her booster this morning. She's not a fan of the vets, so she's very happy to be home, I think. Right, so let's see what else we need to do here. Place all of the beans in the pot. So yeah, I think it's time for the beans. Simmer for 20 minutes without the lid. We're just gonna go with it. I did my own for a little Christmas buffet last year. Oh, nice. First time making them and so good. And that's the thing, they're so simple. If you've got obviously puff pastry, I think if you're gonna make it yourself, good luck to you. It's not me. Definitely not. But if you've got the puff pastry, just being able to roll them out quickly, and then you can make little ones if it is like a buffet and you want a few more and it's kind of sharing food. But oh, so good. It's been ages since I've made them actually. I could go some. I could maybe make some tomorrow and have hopefully leftover beans with them. That'd be nice. Right, I'm gonna get the beans and pop them in. So the recipe says to soak your beans, but that's obviously if you've got dried beans. These are not dried. The only dried food like that I use is lentils. Mainly because I'm too lazy to dry stuff, to like soak stuff before I use it. I'm just giving them a bit of a rinse. Just gonna pop them in. And get water everywhere. Oh yeah, so you could just buy like sausage meat from somewhere and add loads of nice spices and make them maybe a bit more interesting. But yeah, the whole making puff pastry, I'm sorry, who's got time for that? Who's got time? I mean, I think it would be interesting to do it at some point, but I feel like I've found a gluten-free puff pastry that I like, and it's not too expensive. So if I fancy a sausage roll, I'm gonna buy that. I'm not gonna spend hours making puff pastry. But if you do, good on you. Yeah. I think just the tins are so easy. Like I'm not good with chickpeas either. So, but I really like hummus. So I make a butter bean hummus because the butter beans are okay. So I mean I go through so many tins of beans for stuff like that if I had to, it's probably cheaper to buy like a big bag of them and soak them. But by the time I've thought about it, I've soaked them and then I've made the hummus, I'm like that, I don't actually want this anymore. Okay, so what are we doing now? Bring to simmer, then lower the heat to medium-low and simmer for 20 minutes without the lid. Okay, that seems fairly straightforward. So I think, no, I'll leave that there just now and then we can have a look at our tofu. Oh, and then we'll have all our bits and pieces prepped. Right, I can move you back again. Oh, Johnny, what have you done? Now I really want a sausage roll. Really want a sausage roll. Oh, I should have got puff pastry in. So for the tofu, I am gonna kind of break it up instead of cutting it 4 for the price of 3. That's excessive. I mean, that's it. Who goes into Greg's wanting 4 sausage rolls? I suppose you can probably keep them, can't you? If you don't eat them straight away, I'm sure you could keep them and have them tomorrow. Oh, it's been so long since I've been to Greg's. I miss it. I used to like the chicken pasties and the steak bakes. Oh, yum yums. Oh, what a good day you are having, Johnny. I'm so jealous. That sounds amazing. I've been running this afternoon, yeah, running to get rid of all the pastry weight. Oh, there's just nothing better than pastries, is there? I made, for the very first time, I made eclairs. It's payday, that's true. Exactly, treat yourself, Johnny. Treat yourself. I love that your treat is a couple of vegan sausage rolls and some yum yums from Greg. But I fully agree. If I could, I would do exactly the same. Yes, I made eclairs for the first time the other day. So obviously gluten-free ones. Made the choux pastry and everything from scratch. It was such a faff, but they turned out really, really nicely. And I thought, oh, it's been ages since I've had nice gluten-free eclairs, like proper fluffy pastry. Oh, they were lovely. But my cream piping skills leaves a lot to be desired. Like it was, you would bite into it, and at one end you'd have cream. There'd be nothing in the middle, and then at the other end you'd have a wee bit of cream. So I need to work on that part. And the chocolate that I made for the top was really nice as well. So it was just the cream that let the team down. But I think I will, if I've got time and the patience another time, I'll probably make them again, because they did turn out quite well. But it was a faff. I mean, I think it took me in total probably about 2.5, 3 hours. And I made, I think, about 10 eclairs. So, I mean, not a huge amount, but it was good. And if I fancied an eclair, I would do it again. I used to always get a donut. Yum. I miss donuts as well. I can't remember the last time I had a donut. It's the small things in life, it is. And I think sometimes you're better to be easily pleased than want all the, how would you say that, difficultly pleased? That doesn't sound right. Failure is progress. There is a phrase, but yeah, I know what you mean. It's still early. We're okay, we'll let you off. Right, so you can see I've just kind of ripped up these bits of tofu so that they're kind of like a chicken nugget type idea. That's what we're going for. Hopefully they'll stay together okay. It seems like quite a crumbly tofu, but we should be okay. So we're going to put a little batter on these, and I'm going to use my trusty cornflake like breadcrumbs just to make them really nice and crispy. I think I'm going to need to put this up. It's not actually doing anything. A bit more heat in that. Right, so I'm going to grab, so that was silly. So basically the batter that I made for the cauliflower, I am also pretty much going to use the same for this. So I could have made more of it, but I'll make another wee lot just now because I won't need too much for the tofu. And then we'll coat them in our cornflakes, and then they will be ready as well. It's all slowly coming together. Hang on. Marshmallows? I've got a very upset cat and I'm not quite sure why. What's wrong? Come here. Come and say hello. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with her. She's a wee bit out of sorts because she was at the vet's. No, but she's okay. Gone, yes. She's not a fan of being picked up. But she was standing at the door meowing, and she's not a cat that meows often, so it did sound a bit sad. But she's away outside, so I think she's quite happy now. Right, so the beans are doing something, which is good. I'll turn it down again a wee bit. And I'm going to grab another bowl. I need to clean this one out to do my next lot of batter. And I might add some slightly different things to this just so that we're getting a few different tastes. So this one's going to be the cornflake coating, and then I'm going to do more of a kind of traditional KFC coating for the mushrooms, and then we've got the kind of buffalo spicy kind of chicken bites with the cauliflower. So that's what we want. We want a kind of a bit of variety. A variety bucket. That's what it's called. I'm sure that's what it is, a KFC variety bucket. That name had escaped me all morning. I'm glad we got there in the end. That's what I should have put on my title thingy. We got the new Terraformation, they were using it, but now one of them just lies on the floor. Oh. So you've taken away his cardboard box and now he's just going to lie on the floor until you give him it back? That's a shame. Oh, that's the thing. After buying all these nice things for them, they're so ungrateful. They just don't get it. And out of all the things they could have, it's the cardboard box they want. Right, so I'm going to make another lot. I feel like I've made this loads already, but it is good, so. And I can do this one slightly thinner because you just want it enough so that the cornflakes will kind of stick to it. Will that do? Maybe a wee bit more. I can't remember what I put in the other one now. Bit of smoked paprika because I feel like you can put paprika in everything. Oh, that's actually good because I put just regular paprika in the last one. So about a teaspoon of that. That's my menu. I'll just use this again because it's pretty much the same stuff. Shall we add a wee bit of smoked garlic into this one? Since my garlic is empty, we'll put a little bit in, just a tiny bit, because it is very overpowering. And then I'm going to put in just some herbs as well. Just add a few of these in, and then again I'm just going to mix it together, add some water until we get a nice paste. And then we'll coat the tofu in that as well. And again, slowly but surely. I should really have the camera on the bowl, but you sit and look at the tofu for a minute. one looks slightly different. See? Just with the wee bits of herbs in. So it is a bit different. I'm really looking forward to this. I think one thing with being gluten-free is if you go to like restaurants and stuff, or even sort of ready meals and things, places are getting a lot better with knowing about gluten-free and having gluten-free options. But one thing that they always kind of stay away from is fried food that's gluten-free, because obviously if you're celiac, you can't eat, say, like chips that have been fried in a fryer with other things that have a coating or that have gluten in them because of the cross-contamination. So if they're going to offer gluten-free fried food, they have to have a separate fryer for it. And a lot of places don't want to because of obviously costs and things, so you just don't get offered fried food as someone who's gluten-free. So it's very rare that I actually get fried food, and sometimes, I know it's not good for you, but sometimes you just want some fried food. You just want like that kind of treat meal for a wee change. So I'm quite looking forward to seeing how these turn out, because this could be one that I could make more often for myself if I fancy something like this. So I'll move this about and I can show you the batter. So that's what we're looking at just now. So it's a bit thinner, but I reckon I'm going to add the tofu in and see how it looks and just give it a mix around. Yeah, that's sticking quite well. The tofu is good because the batter does definitely stick to it a bit better. There's a good surface area for the batter to stick. Good. It's funny, I'm looking at the beans just now and they look so liquidy. I mean, I'm going to put the thickener in, but they are looking very liquidy at the moment. We'll see, it's a wee adventure for us on a Friday. Okay, and the last thing I want to do for the tofu is I'm going to crush up, if I can reach them, crush up my cornflakes and use that as the coating. Just remember, I've just read that thing again with the cat tree. I bought, I think the most recent thing that I bought for our cats, because we've got two, the most recent thing I bought was an extra large dog bed. So I thought, oh, that'd be really nice if the two of them could like snuggle in together, and that'd be lovely. One of them has claimed it. The whole thing, I mean, it's huge. One of them has claimed it, and the other one just gets sort of packed off wherever else there's a space. So you spend all this money on them, and they don't get it. So I'm gonna get, oh god, I hope I've got enough cornflakes. So I'm gonna use probably the rest. Yeah, because there's no point in keeping that now. So the rest of my cornflakes, and I'm gonna crunch them up until they're nice and small. And then we're going to coat the tofu in. So if you've seen any of my previous streams, you'll probably have seen this before. The first one I did was the sushi sandwich, where I coated the tofu in this to then put into the middle of the sushi sandwich with like avocado and obviously sushi rice and some cucumber and carrots and things. And then the last one was the katsu curry. So I would say this makes a really, really nice breadcrumb for the katsu, because it's so crispy, and I think that's what you want from like a breadcrumb or a coating. You want it to be as crispy as possible. So I'm going to try and get these as small as I can so we get a nice coating on them. And then I'm trying to decide, So the cauliflower I'm going to do in the oven. I've not tried making the tofu with the cornflakes in the oven yet. I don't know whether to try it or to fry them. I'm going to fry the mushrooms, but I haven't quite decided how I'm going to do the tofu. Can maybe do half and half and see which works better, and then I'll know for the future. I'm not sure. I'll need to have a wee think. If anyone has any preferences, let me know, and then I can blame you if it goes wrong. Kidding. I'm kidding. So these are getting quite nice and small now. It's definitely getting there. And you want to be quite patient and get them as small as you can for this, because I want a fairly even coating on the tofu. That's not too bad. Right, I think that'll do us. I'll grab, get a wee plate just to put them on. This is why I use so many dishes when I'm cooking. Just get another wee bowl for this, a plate for this. Right, I'm going to try and do it properly this time. Every time I do this, I end up with both hands in such a mess. So I'm going to try and be clever and have a dry hand and a wet hand. So far, so good. I'm just kind of patting the cornflakes onto it to make sure as much of it is covered as possible. So I would say that looks like quite a good wee kind of chicken nugget type idea. Can you see that? And I think that tofu can taste quite similar to kind of chicken. The texture can be quite similar. And obviously chicken's not overly, there's not a huge taste to it. So I'm just going to do this with all of them. Hopefully, if I don't run out of cornflakes. Tried putting them in a sandwich, but that's a good idea. I hadn't thought about that, but that makes a lot of sense. I think I just quite enjoy, I think it's quite therapeutic, squashing the cornflakes. But that's, yeah, although to be fair, squashing them with a rolling pin, that would be therapeutic as well. That would definitely do it. I might try that the next time, if I remember to buy more cornflakes. That is a good idea. See, that's the thing. I think you get so used to doing what you do that you kind of forget that there are other ways of doing things. But I suppose that's how I would, if I was doing like a cheesecake base or something, that's how I would do that. So yeah, it would be good to see a comparison. I think that's what I'll do. I think I'll try half and half to see what the difference is. Because it would also be good just for my future knowledge to know if baking tofu like this, if it works. And obviously it's a much healthier option. So I think I'll do half and half. I don't know how long it'll take in the oven, but probably not too long. We're getting there. Discuss that for the tofu. Yeah, that's the thing. It depends how you're kind of preparing your tofu, that it can be quite awkward to fry. Although, was it tofu I was making? Yeah, it was tofu I was making when I had a bit of an oil explosion. So I'll be very careful today. I'll watch what I'm doing this time and try and not get any condensation into my oil pan. Okay, we're getting there. I think these actually look really like little chicken nuggets. I'm pleased with how they're looking so far. Yes, that'll be interesting. So we'll do half tofu, half fried, half baked. We'll do baked cauliflower and we'll do fried mushrooms. And then hopefully by doing it that way, everything should be ready about the same kind of time. So that's also a plus. Oh, I'm starting to run out of cornflakes. Wonder if I've got anything else I can use. So I'm gonna do, for the mushrooms, I'm gonna do breadcrumbs. And I don't have like old bread, but I think I'm just gonna get a couple of bits of gluten-free bread and toast them and then kind of blitz them up. And I'm hoping that'll work just as well. It's funny, breadcrumbs is something I just don't tend to use. But I think that should work. You just want that kind of crispiness. And then we're gonna do, I found a recipe for more like a traditional KFC seasoning. So I'm gonna put that together for the mushrooms and have like a proper breaded, seasoned coating. Because it's breaded, it's not batter. Oh, I think we might, maybe just, almost. It's getting close. I've got 2 more. It's not sticking as well. And the beans are cooking away on the side. Oh, I think I'm 1 piece out. Oh, that's annoying. I'll maybe put that in the... I'll put that in the batter that I'm going to do for the mushrooms. Good morning, Big Davy. How are you today? Happy Friday. Nice to see you. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna get any more. No, let's try. I've got some crumbs left in my jar. Let's see if we can coat. That's a big bit as well. Oh. Let's see. Oh, there we go. That's fine. Morning, oh God, yeah, just morning. Yes, I'm good, thank you. Happy that it's Friday. Getting hungry now. Still got a few bits to do, so it's going to be a wee bit before I'm going to get to eat, but... Right, so our tofu is prepped. Right, so let me just think what I'm doing. Tofu is prepped, cauliflower is prepped. Mushrooms just need their batter. Beans are on. And they look interesting. They smell... They do smell a wee bit like baked beans. I feel like something's missing though. I'm not sure what, but... I don't know. I'll thicken it up and then we'll taste it just before it's ready and I'll see if there's anything I need to add in. Right, so next step. I think the next step is I will do my coating for the cauliflower, and then we've got all our bits of our variety bucket. We've got all of them ready, and then it's just a case of frying or ovening them, finishing off the beans, and then doing the coleslaw. So I'll need to double check my recipe for this one. But there's quite a lot of like curry and things in, which I wasn't expecting. So I'll have a wee quick look. If I can, oh there it is. Right. So what all do we want? Plain flour. Oh, baking powder. I wonder why. I wasn't expecting that. I'm so glad you can't see in this cupboard, because it is an absolute disaster. Oh, and I just need to be slightly taller to reach everything. Right, baking powder. Your first lie-in. Oh, well, that seems like a good lie-in then. If that's nearly 12, that's not too bad. Baking powder, ground ginger. So where are you? Ground ginger, sugar, garlic, paprika. Because how many spices does KFC says he has in his chicken? Is it about 14 or something ridiculous? Oregano. Not quite got the ones they're after, but we'll go with what we've got. So coriander and some chili powder. Oh, that's chili flakes. Hold on. Chili powder. That seems like a lot of things. Allspice. Is allspice the same as mixed spice? Chinese 5 spice? Is it 12? Yeah, I mean, that seems like a lot of different here. How many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10, 11. Yeah. Yeah, no, that seems about right. Right, allspice. Is allspice the same as Chinese 5 spice? Or mixed spice? Chinese 5 spice smells weird. No, that doesn't smell. That's got too much cinnamon in. I think I'm going to go for garam masala rather. The old faithful. I think I'm going to go for... It's quite strong. Do you want a wee bit of curry rather? I think I might put in a little bit of curry powder. I think anything else is going to be too strong. So we've got plenty of thingies now, of seasonings, spices. I'm going to need to start doing some dishes because I'm running out. And then this is very much like a dry seasoning. So am I going to need a batter for this as well? And I've just realised that I've got rid of my batter, which was a bit stupid. Hold on. Absorb the batter. So for the batter they use milk, so vegan milk, so it says soy milk, and nutritional yeast with some oil. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Supposedly salt, thyme, basil, oregano, celery salt, black pepper, dry mustard, paprika, garlic salt, ginger, white pepper. Right, mine's going to be quite different. I've got white pepper, I can add that in as well. Thyme I don't have, basil I've got, oregano I've got, celery salt I don't have, black pepper I have, dry mustard I don't have, paprika I have, garlic salt I've got the smoked one, ginger and white. So we're not too far away. There or thereabouts. Good morning, Buff Bagel. How are you today? How did your Cornish pasty go last night? Did Casey get it finished? I was enjoying the history lesson, I'm not going to lie. I learned a lot about a Cornish pasty yesterday. So much more to it than I ever thought. Okay, let me get a bit of space here with all of these spices. dead bad to go as well. Oh no. That's the thing. I really enjoy watching a load of the American streamers, but by the time they start, I'm already so tired. I mean, there's one that I like watching, but he starts at midnight, I think, here, and I'm getting old. I can't stay up that late anymore. But at least we made it for a chunk of it anyway. And I got to hear all about. I definitely did learn something. I learned a lot yesterday. I had no idea that there was so much to it. Plus, I think that oggy, oi, oi, oi thing, that's going to stick with me. Even for the East Coast, yeah. Because I forget there's such a big time difference between you guys as well. But yeah, that's it. It's, as soon as they start, I'm like, oh, I really want to watch it. And especially if I'm streaming, like this morning I was streaming, I thought I need to get up fairly early to get organised. I can't be up until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning watching food. Plus I then find that I'm on till 2, 3 in the morning and I am starving, and that's not a nice time to be hungry. Everyone's already gone to bed and I'm sitting there like, oh, I could really eat like some pastry or something just now. Right, how much? Serves 3. Does that sound about right? Yeah. That's the thing, it's all food streaming really that I watch. So I just feel like I'm hungry all day, every day. But it's good fun. I do enjoy it. And it gives me a bit of inspiration and ideas of what else I can do. And I do like trying new things, so always up for that. This seems like quite a lot of flour. Because what am I doing this for? The mushrooms? I don't need nearly as much. Right, hang on. Start again. I'm gonna half it. Is that gonna be enough? I don't know. I can't decide. No, we'll put a bit more in. I don't think it's quite going to be enough. And I've already made my batter twice today. I don't want to start making my seasoning twice as well. Yeah, there or thereabouts. And I'm going to get flour all over the place. Right, and then Cornish pasty when? Well, I could have eaten one last night at 2 o'clock. I had a quick look at the stream this morning just to see how it turned out, and it looked really, really good. I think he did well. Not that I know that much about it, but it looked good to me. Right, so I've got 150 grams. It says 200 in the recipe, but I think that seems like quite a lot. So I've done. Yeah, but only if you've had a drink beforehand. I feel like that would definitely sort you out if you'd had a drink. So I'm going to have to kind of jiggle the recipe about a wee bit. So I've got 150 grams and it said to do 200. So I need 3/4 of everything. Is that right? 3/4? Yeah. What a mind blank there. So a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. What's that? Ginger, ground ginger. Almost a teaspoon. Oh, it smells good. Just remember on my very first stream I made a gingerbread loaf, and it was the first time I'd ever made a gingerbread loaf, and it was so good. And every time I smell ginger I'm like, oh, I could just make another loaf. So it was so quick and easy and it was so tasty. Paprika. Went on a stag do to Turkey several years ago. Nice. Especially on a stag do, I think that's a Cornish pasty is exactly what you want. And now I'm so concerned that I'm going to say pasty, because Casey's got it in my head now after saying it so much yesterday, and I know that I'll get a row. I'm like, say it right, say it right. Right, a wee bit of chili powder. I'm not going to put too much in. Oh, maybe not. So I didn't mean to put too much in, but yeah, it should be okay. Because I don't want them too spicy, I just want the kind of flavour from it. I mean, this is all like half teaspoons and stuff, but I'm just kind of winging it again. Come on. Some mixed herbs. I'm going to put in, is ground coriander, is that weird? I do like coriander. I might put in a little bit. It doesn't say that in the recipe, but I might put in a little bit. Oh, I can't believe how strong that smells. Ah, I've just realised how the thing works as well. So it's got a sprinkle one on the top tier. Ah, that's clever. I did wonder. So it opens in two sections if anyone is interested. I've literally just discovered this about the garlic. Right, smoked garlic, and then white pepper. I'm gonna put in a little bit of ground coriander because I'm a big fan. And then we said, oh, sorry, I think I must have inhaled the pepper. Oh, yeah, I think that's what I've done. I've inhaled pepper. Oh no. No, we're okay. And then we want some salt. About that much. And a teaspoon of sugar. Oh, and some black pepper. Yeah, I'm excited to see how this one turns out. I've never actually made a coating like this before, but I just quite fancied it, and I thought obviously it fits with the KFC bucket thing. And then how much? About a teaspoon of sugar. Right, I'll give this a mix and then I'll see what. This looks interesting. I'm intrigued. It smells. It smells like something I feel I've not put in it. It smells. What is that smell? It smells kind of curry-like, but I've not actually put any curry in it. I was thinking about it, but I've changed my mind. Get rid of all of these bits, and then I'll mix together the soy milk and nutritional yeast. And then while we're mixing that, we add a little bit of this mix. Oh, come on. I think my cupboard is trying to tell me that it's time for a clean out. Nothing fits in anymore. Oh dear, right. Can get rid of these, and then we've got a bit more space. Okay, so I need another bowl. I might just use a little one this time. nutritional yeast, oh, oil to fry. Okay. So we want our milk. And nutritional yeast. Oh, I think what I'll do just now also is, before I forget, which I nearly did the last time, is I'm going to put my oven on so that it's heated up by the time we're ready to do something with it. Oh, flour everywhere. Right, 200 mils I think it was of milk. Yes, so obviously you can use, the recipe says soy milk. I would imagine you could probably use really any milk for it. So whether it's oat milk or regular milk, if you're not 100% vegan, which is what I'm doing because I don't have any soy milk in. I don't know how coconut milk would be with it, or like almond milk. I'm not too sure. It'd be worth a try though, I feel. And then we're going to mix this with our nutritional yeast, I think. If I could get the recipe to come back up. Right, oh, place 80 grams first of... See, this is too much maths for me this early this morning. So what's 3/4 of 80 grams? For any mathematicians, what's 3/4 of 80 grams? That's terrible. That should be really straightforward. I'm calculating it. I can't believe I did that. That's ridiculous. 60 grams. So we want to take out 60 grams of the flour mix, and we're going to mix that. Thank you. Thank you, B. Salton. I cannot believe I used my calculator for that. But I thought better to get it right. Too much tea. I feel like it's a Friday. We should be allowed a bit of grace. Right, so we've got our 60 grams, which is a bit of a team effort, in the bowl, and then I'm going to add the yeast. 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast. Absolutely. And that's the thing, I'm sorry, but why were calculators invented then? If it's not to make our lives easier. Oh. Right. So I should have done a little bit less of the nutritional yeast, but I like nutritional yeast, so I'm just gonna go with it. And then, oh, of course, right, hold on. I've confused myself now. Exactly, it's good to be certain. I don't want to get it wrong and then ruin my lunch. Right, so I've put out too much milk as well. I should just have made the amount the recipe told me to. And I wouldn't have this problem now. So we want 150 mils rather of milk. Yeah. And I'm just going to mix all of this together. Looks interesting. Oh, it smells nice. It smells very peppery now. I hope I've not put too much pepper in, but I think KFC does, it is quite peppery. So hopefully it'll be fairly close to the original authentic stuff. It looks so appetizing, doesn't it? Again, I like just to, with things like these, I like to add the liquid a bit at a time, just to make sure that I'm getting the right consistency, because I do tend to just fire everything in at once, and then you go, oh no, I've got too much flour or too much water, and then you need to start re-adding things, and it's just a bit of a nuisance. So I like to do it kind of a bit at a time. I'm not sure how liquidy this is meant to be, but I don't really want to add any more milk because it feels quite liquidy already. Until you get a smooth batter. Oh, there's a picture, that might help. Where's the picture? Oh, that looks quite similar. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to put any more milk in because I'm going to end up with it too runny and it's all going to run off. Now's the fun part, where I get to coat it all. Get my tofu out the road. The beans are looking pretty good. They've not fallen apart yet, so that's a good sign. And then I'll just grab the mushrooms. Right, okay. And then the mushrooms, I'm just gonna dip in the batter and then coat in the seasoning until it's all nice and coated. So these are our mushrooms. So we've got some king oysters and some shiitake, which I kind of seasoned and put in a pan and squashed them right down to try and get some of the liquid out. I've maybe made a bit of a mistake because I put oil in the pan. I don't think I should have done that, but it's too late now. So we'll see how we go on. Hopefully they'll still work okay. And then I want to dip. I don't think, can I show you all of this or not? Just about. So dip it in here. Again, I'm going to try and have one hand wet and one hand dry. And it says just to kind of soak it in the batter for a minute or so. So I'll do all of the oyster mushrooms first. It's quite fun. I've never actually cooked with these with these mushrooms before. So I'm interested to see how they are. I don't know if I've actually ever tried them before. Not sure. But they look good and they're going to make us kind of baked chicken strips. Right, and then we want to pop it in here and coat in the flour mixture. And hopefully that'll all stick. I've not used them before. No, I think they're quite difficult to get. Because I knew that I wanted to try them and I struggled to find a shop that actually sold them. I mean, I think maybe you would have to go to maybe like a special farm shop or something rather. Because I really fancy trying is it the cluster mushrooms? But again, because I've seen a few places where they've used that as almost like a steak. But again, I can't find them anywhere. It's a recipe for pulling them. Yeah, like pulled pork. Aha. And that's the thing, I think you can do a lot with these ones. And I've also seen them, if you chop them up, like instead of chopping them into strips that way, chopping them that way, and you get little, almost like kind of scallop type idea. And they look really nice as well, but this was the only place I could get them, and it was in a pack of like woodland mushrooms. So they were already sliced and they came with like the shiitake ones and some other, is it just regular oyster mushrooms? I think if these are king oysters. So I'm just kind of patting them down in the flour mix to try and get as much of the seasoning on as possible, because that's what's going to make it nice and crispy. That would work too. Yeah, I mean, I've seen that quite a few times now with the kind of the fake oysters, and it does look quite nice. I think the texture must be quite similar, and you can cook them in quite a similar way, kind of braise them. We're nearly done with these ones, and then we can do our shiitakes, and then we can start actually like frying things and putting things in the oven, and then once everything's sort of getting ready to be ready, oh, you can tell it's Friday, my brain stopped working already. Yeah, and then I'll start doing the coleslaw. Is that all our bits of? Yes. And I'll pop these ones in. These ones look like wee claws or something, don't they? That little brush. Bit strange. Oh, they smell good though. I'm hoping that's made a difference by sort of frying them off first, that they will have a bit more flavour to them. I mean, I'm sure they're quite tasty anyway, but I'm hoping that's added a little something to it. Right, coat all of these and then we'll put them in the flour mixture. Doing well so far with my wet hand, dry hand thing. Better than I did last week anyway. These look good. I'm excited. Right. Oh no, I did it. Damn it, I was doing so well. Flour on my wet hand. One sec, what are you doing? If you're away to buy us all oyster mushrooms and to deliver them round, that would be ideal. Oh, thank you very much, Buff Beagle. That's much appreciated. Very kind of you. See, for that, I feel like I should try making a Cornish pasty as well. Although I'd have to do a gluten-free one, and I don't know how well that would go. Thank you, Buff Bagel. Very, very kind. I just hope this all turns out now that I've actually got something to show for it. Although I'll definitely need to go away and watch the rest of Casey's stream from yesterday. I want to see how he got on with the learning experience as well. Well, maybe we'll need to do that. But I feel like if I did, I would definitely need your coaching through it, like you did with Casey. But at least I could do it during the day when you're awake as well. Because I think with pastry, I get frustrated with it because gluten-free pastry is tricky. You are joking? So he spent all that time making it. He had someone with a Cornish pasty certificate on helping him, and he didn't even try it. Why? I'm not surprised. I think then I just would have been like, no, I'm off. See you later. That's madness. See, no. I mean, I don't like eating on stream, but I feel like if you've gone to that much effort and you've got people and you've got people helping you through it, and I mean, I don't know about you, but I was invested in it. And he can't, no. I hope you gave him a row for it. I hope you told him off, because that's not okay. Yeah, okay. But still, he knows we're going to come on and have a nosy at it after the fact. Oh, well, there you go. If we do one and we do a gluten-free one, I'll definitely try it on stream. Although maybe he didn't. Strongly worded letter. It's so British. Maybe, unless he's trying to spare your feelings and it didn't go as well as he'd hoped, and he thought, well, I'm not going to try it on stream in case it doesn't taste nice. But I'm sure that's not what happened. I'm sure he had one of the best teachers, so Right, where am I now? Okay, I need to stop doing things with so many different pieces. And did yours, well, of course yours worked out well. Oh, so you were making them at like, what time was that? I mean, that was quite late on, so you were sitting making Cornish pasties at like midnight? I'd leave my house before they were done. Oh, that is sad. There's nothing worse than spending all that time making something. Like it's nice that people enjoy it, but if you're the one that's made it, like I feel like, well, you should be the one that enjoys it the most. So what other ones did you do then? Did you do mini tuna? Oh, yum. I'm a big tuna fan. I do enjoy tuna. So how did you do those ones? Was it like the tins of tuna, or did you have like tuna steaks? I can't imagine how that would work. Was it like tuna mayonnaise? That would be weird, maybe? Don't know. A cook along. I'd love to do a cook along. Tin tuna, yeah. No, I would love to do a cook along. So if anybody wants to do a cook along, let me know. I would join in. As long as it's not something too difficult. Tinned tuna. Right, so how did that work? Did you just literally just put the tinned tuna inside the pastry and then like crimp it up, or did you add anything to the tuna? I'm intrigued. Very intrigued. And hungry. I had to pre-cook it. So you pre-cooked the tinned tuna. Have you tried them? Are they nice? I would definitely give it a go. Ah, right, okay. So you put veg in them as well? I maybe need to do a wee bit of experimenting. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, I could imagine that with the mixture. I think that would be tasty. That's a good idea, actually. Although I think I'm the only person that I know that likes tuna, so I'd beaten them myself, which isn't a bad thing. It's a tuna with some stock. Yeah, because I did think it could be a wee bit dry. But no, I could eat that. And do you often make, see, salt and pepper, nice. And do you often make sweet ones as well? Because I'm a big fan of like an apple turnover or something. So I think like an apple pasty would be really nice. Now I want pastry too. I know. This is always my problem. I get so excited about what I'm making, and then I start chatting to you guys, and we get off topic, and we start talking about some other kind of food, and then I'm like, oh, I wish that's what I was having instead. No, I'm looking forward to this, and then I'll do Cornish pasties another day. Oh, apple strudel on one side and chili on the other. Right, see, when you're making that, do you have to put like a barrier down the middle? Or do you literally just kind of keep an eye on it that it kind of stops? Because if you do, would it kind of merge if you didn't put a barrier in? So you put a barrier in. I need to go and watch Casey's stream and get some tips. Yeah, because that must be really tricky. No problem, Dynadol. Thanks for watching. Hopefully it all turns out okay. Fingers crossed. And if you go onto my Discord, I'll post some pictures later there, so you can see how it's all looking. Oh, I really want a Cornish pasty now, or even just like an apple pie or something. It's funny because I'm not normally a sweet person at all. I much prefer savoury things. Very much like a restaurant. Yeah, exactly. See, I'm terrible. If we ever go to a restaurant, or even if we like order in, I like to do a bit of research. So I'll be online and I'll look up their Instagram and I'll see if they've got pictures of the different kinds of food, so that I know what to expect and I can make like a proper what's the word? A decision, a proper. This is not happening for me today. A proper educated decision, and I can spend hours just trying to figure out what I want, seeing what's the best. But yeah, even then, I'll be sitting in the restaurant and watching other people's food go past, and like that. What's that? Can I change my mind now, please? Oh, no problem, Party Squad's nice to have you back. Did you get everything cleaned up? I hope you've got a quiet rest of day planned, because you've been busy. I'm terrible for it. And that's it. I think sometimes if you can't think of the word, it's not coming back to you. Like it's gone. And you do feel a bit silly because you think, well, I've lost brain power during this, but it's definitely a thing. But then you're definitely allowed it more than I am, Party Squads, when you're doing yours in English. Yeah, the dishwasher and the washing machine are on. Good. That's a good start. You should give yourself a rest. It's Friday. I've done that during meetings. Yeah, you'll be up doing like a presentation or something and go, no, I've stopped functioning completely. I have no idea what I'm doing. Yeah, I can't remember what I was going to say. And the awkward silence is the worst. Normally I'm quite good at getting around an awkward silence, which is why I quite enjoy streaming, because an awkward silence doesn't really bother me too much. But in a meeting or something like that, when the people are actually there, that's a whole other story. And they're all waiting for you to come up with something and you're just like, oh, yeah, not fun. Hopefully it doesn't happen too often, but coffee on your stream for a bit now. Well, that sounds good to me. Hopefully we can entertain you. Right, so I've got all my cauliflower in the batter. Hopefully the batter's going to stay where it is. I've chilled it to hope, I don't know if that's actually done anything, but I hoped that would help kind of stick it to the cauliflower. So I'm going to pop this in the oven now, and then I'm going to make a little kind of glaze for it with some sweet chili sauce and some like buffalo sauce. And then once these have been in for maybe about 20 minutes, I'll brush the glaze over them and then pop them back in the oven, so they should be nice and like almost kind of crispy but sweet and sticky. That's the plan. And then we can start looking at all the other bits. Happens all the time. Remember, my employees are used to it. They're just like, yeah, he's away again. At least if you've got understanding employees, that makes a difference. And they don't mind. They're quite happy just to wait for you to regain your thoughts. Right, I'm going to do the glaze just now, just before I forget, so that it's ready for once the cauliflower comes out of the oven. I need a bigger bowl than that. Oh, and I should really drink something. Oh, that's the problem. I do forget to drink during these. Right. I can't honestly remember. Again, I should really do my research before. Oh my god, that's a waffle. That is a huge oven. It's just a fire. It's just a huge fire outside. It's because I just brought out this, which is the Frank's Red Hot Buffalo thingy sauce. I'm losing it today, I really am. Oh, right. Get it back together. Okay, so I'm going to make the glaze before I forget, so that once it's ready, I can pull it out, put the glaze straight on, and I don't have to then go, oh God, I've forgotten to do the glaze. I've done it before. Can't remember what I'd put in it. So I'm just going to kind of make it up as I go along. I think, to be honest, it's probably just... How hot is this? Hopefully not too spicy. That Friday feeling, definitely. My head is already in the weekend. And it's just trying to pull me in, I think. Like, you don't need to do this. Let's just go and chill out. We're not going to give you words today. Right, so I've just mixed some of the red hot sauce. You could probably just use, if you like the, what's it called, the sriracha sauce, or other chili sauces. If you like it a wee bit spicier, you could use that instead, and then some sweet chili sauce. And I would say the main part you want really is the sweet chili sauce, because it's going to be kind of sticky. It's that kind of sticky sweet, and that's what you want on. So that's what we're going to brush on the cauliflower. So I think that should be enough. Sriracha's a bit, I can't stand it. I think I'm the only person I've ever met that doesn't like it. But see that, the smell of it, oh, it's horrible. I'm not a big one for spice anyway, because it's definitely one of my triggers. So I can handle a certain amount of spice, but there's just, I don't know what's in it, but there's a weird smell to it, and I just can't. I don't think I could even bring myself to try it because the smell just completely puts me off it. But yeah, everybody else in the world seems to love it, so I think it's definitely something that's wrong with me rather than anybody else. Right, what am I best to do now? So the cauliflower is in the oven and the batter is staying on, so that's a good sign. I'm going to give it 20 minutes, and then I'll put the glaze on. And do you agree, party squads? See, that it's definitely me. I am the one with a weird opinion on that. But I can't understand why so many people love it, because I think it's awful. But one that's really, really nice that I've just discovered recently is the, what's it called? I'll get one. I've got one in the fridge. It's not spicy, but it's just so good. This one. It's a bit too sweet garlicky. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think it's like a sweet garlic taste, like sweet garlic smell that I don't like. So if you've not tried this, it's so good. So good. I'm slightly addicted to it at the moment. I pretty much put it on everything. I don't know if you can get it outside the... If you can get it outside the UK, I don't know. Is Nando's a thing outside of the UK? Pearnaise is nice, yeah. I like a bit of pearnaise. Right, I'm going to check what I need to do with my beans. Okay, so they don't need much else done with them. Is it Is Nando's Portuguese? Or did I misunderstand that? Oh, really? I had no idea. Oh, of course, because it's peri peri. Ah, that makes sense. I was forgetting that. I was thinking it was like one of these things that the UK had kind of taken those flavours and kind of murdered it a wee bit. Afro-Portuguese inspired, South African born. Ah, that's good to know. I definitely thought it was another one of these Britain, like people in the UK like that kind of taste, so we'll take one and kind of make it British seeming. I'm just moving this over so I can start frying stuff off. But I can leave this. Calm down, calm down. I can leave that to simmer. I'm sorry if that's really loud. There we go, that should be calming down now, hopefully. Why is that so much hotter? That's what I do not understand. Ah, that's better. We've got it, we've got it. Right. What? I don't know what happened. I'm not sure. No, I think I was just saying I thought it was something that Britain had kind of stolen from somewhere else and not done authentically at all, but maybe it is authentic, I'm not too sure. Somewhere again I don't really go. Right, beans are on. I'm going to get my pan and start frying some bits and pieces off, because I think in about 25 minutes the cauliflower should be done. I should really tidy up as well, and then I've got the coleslaw to make, the beans to thicken, but they only take another 2 minutes once you've added the corn flour. Ah, that might be a shout actually. That's funny to think of, because I know that I quite enjoy going to the supermarkets here, and we've always got like a US aisle, and I do enjoy going up and down there just to see what different things I can get, although it tends just to be like sweets and cereal, I think. Just don't mind me while I tidy up a wee bit. What's your opinion on William Wallace? Braveheart William Wallace or the real one? Oh, the beans are getting a bit thicker. That's good. Right, I think what I'm going to do before I start frying stuff off, because obviously that won't take long, I'm going to start prepping the coleslaw, and then it can sit and kind of soak in the dressing for a wee bit. It's a fun way of seeing different places of what kind of food products. Yeah, definitely. It's good fun, and we get quite a lot. We've always got quite a lot of like Polish food. So there's a load of Polish food, and then there's a load of probably kind of Japanese, sort of Asian food. And then we get the US. One thing that we get quite a lot of that I've seen now is like Irish food, which I always thought was quite interesting, but what is it, like potato crisps and stuff? But it is quite nice to try. And then I find sometimes things like buttermilk I like using for cooking, but it's quite difficult to get, I find it quite difficult to get just regularly in the supermarket, but quite often you'll find it and it'll be in the Polish section for some reason. So I don't know whether like in Polish cooking there's quite a lot of buttermilk used, but you can normally get like a big container of buttermilk rather than just the little ones that you can get like in with the creams and stuff. Yeah, specials Irish food. It tends to be, it's quite stereotypical. It tends to be potato crisps and mashed potato. I think that's the two that I can remember seeing. Yeah, you should do. Right, I've lost focus again. Have I got another bowl? No. Right, I'm gonna need to wash my bowl again. and I'll start chopping my veg for the coleslaw. And this coleslaw is one that I make all the time. I change it up slightly every now and then, but the base is pretty much always the same. And it's a big favourite of mine. And I actually did it recently with, instead of using cabbage, purely because I didn't have any cabbage, I just thinly sliced up some lettuce. I wasn't sure how it would work because I thought the lettuce might be a bit too, almost kind of soft for it, but it actually worked out really well. Get my little food waste bag. The recipe I saw someone do for cauliflower. Yes, I think the buttermilk does seem to be quite a big thing for doing sort of fried chicken and things. I had thought about it, but then I thought I'd like to try and make this vegan if possible, and I'm not sure. I suppose you could maybe use vegan yogurt. Would that work? That's probably the closest you're going to get. But yeah, I think that's quite a big part of it. Is that what helps keep, like, if you're making proper chicken, is that what helps it kind of keep it moist? I think it might be. Oh, I need some more water. It's too warm in here. Yeah, I'm not sure. I might need to try that and try it with yogurt. Because you think in theory it's similar enough. We can make a vegan version. Gaz Oakley. That's, what's his name? That's the one on YouTube, isn't it? Party Squads. I'm sure I've watched him a few times before. I don't like his accent, but he's good at his cooking. So we've got a cabbage. My red onions are over there, and a couple of carrots. Oh, about to have a disaster in the fridge. Tray of stuff balancing in there. I'm just waiting for it to fall over. Yeah, he is, to be fair, he is really, really good. He knows his stuff. Right, don't look at this. As I said before, normally this is vegan. I didn't realise I didn't have any vegan mayonnaise, so I'm just going to use regular mayonnaise. But obviously, if you're doing it vegan, just substitute the mayonnaise for the vegan mayonnaise and it'll taste just as good, if not slightly better. Right, so the first thing I want to do is get my cabbage prepped, because I'm going to kind of bash it with some salt, sugar, and a little bit of vinegar, just to help kind of break it up a little bit. And I find that for me, with the IBS, it makes it slightly easier to digest. So that's the plan for that. So what's your favourite of his recipes, Party Squads? Do you have a favourite? Or is there one that you would recommend that I try? Because I would be interested, because he always seems to do quite interesting vegan food. It's always a wee bit different. So I would be interested in trying it out. Oh, you've got his cookbook, nice. Oh, of course, you said that. Yeah, that did look really good. I've seen a few of his videos. I cannot remember. What is it I've seen? I think, was it him who did the... I don't think it was him. I think it was Wicked Kitchen that did the mushroom squashing. Really don't know vegan recipes apart from replacing with corn. I think that's it. I think it's definitely a bit of a learning curve, and I'm quite enjoying it, because although I don't eat vegan, I mean, I'm not even a vegetarian. I would say I think it's a flexitarian officially, because I just eat a bit of everything. I try not to eat too much meat or too much fish, and try and sort of eat as much vegetarian food as I can, but I still eat dairy and things like that. But I do quite enjoy trying to come up with new things and not trying to rely on corn too much. And obviously I use a lot of mushrooms because you can get quite a nice sort of meaty taste. I like lentils. I've made a really nice lentil bolognese. I'll maybe make that on here one day actually. And I would say the lentil bolognese is nicer than a regular bolognese. It's much tastier, I think. And I actually prefer the texture of it. Eat your veggies, yeah. And that's it. I think it's good if we can all just reduce it a little bit. When it comes to meat, I stick mostly to fish and poultry. Yeah, I mean, that's it. If I do have meat, on a very rare occasion, it would be fish. I would really struggle to give up fish. I do love fish. And maybe chicken. I'd have a bit of chicken. I don't eat a lot of chicken, to be honest. I do eat mostly vegetarian, just with the odd bit. But I don't know if I'd said this before, but I find it quite difficult if I'm eating out, because I'm already gluten-free, to be gluten-free and like vegetarian or vegan. There's very rarely any options for that when you eat out. You're really lucky if you find somewhere that does gluten-free vegan options. Most of the time the gluten-free options are a steak or a bit of chicken or a bit of fish, just because that's the easiest way for the kitchen to kind of deal with it. So it can be quite tricky, and that's kind of why I've not sort of limited myself to it, because I feel like I would really struggle to eat out at all. But when I'm at home, when I can cook myself, I do try and cook as much sort of vegetarian as possible. Can you give me a simple vegan dish for uni? Budget of 12p a meal, right? I would say, well, one thing that I made, I don't know if it would be 12p a meal, but I would say the meatballs that I made, well, the fake meatballs that I made the other day on the stream, so they were made with mushrooms. So you just get your mushrooms, you fry off your mushrooms, and then you blitz them up with some onions and some garlic and some herbs, shape them into little meatballs, and then fry them off and serve them with a spaghetti and a tomato sauce. So it is quite a cheap way. I mean, you could make a big batch of it and have that for a few meals. I don't know how much it would cost in total, but I would imagine that would be quite a budget friendly dinner. And then obviously if you get like your mushrooms on sale or whatever, then even better. And you can just get your tomato sauce is just like a can of tin tomatoes. And try Gaz's fish and chips. Is that the one where he does the block of tofu and wraps it in the seaweed? I think I might have seen his YouTube video on that one. I think, and it did look good. Oh no, so I'm thinking somebody else then. So how does he do his fish and chips then? Oh, I'm intrigued. That's secret hair. What? I'm confused. I'm confused. I've got Party Squads, I've got my Friday brain on. You're going to need to spell it out for me. Right, I will do. I will have a nosy. But yeah, I do really like his recipes. And that's it. I think if you're looking for interesting vegan things to make, he definitely does do some interesting things rather than just your kind of standard roasted veg, which I do like, but sometimes you want something a bit more interesting. Right, so into my cabbage, I've just added a little bit of sugar and a little bit of salt, and I'm just adding a kind of a sprinkle of vinegar, and then I'm going to kind of bash it to get the vinegar and the salt and, oh, they look good, the salt and sugar to kind of break up the cabbage slightly. And I've not got any gloves, so I'll just have to get hands in. Did a shallot tart tatin. Ooh, that sounds interesting. That was one thing. I used to work in a restaurant when I was younger, and one of the things that I got left to make all the time was the apple tart tatin. Although, funnily enough, since I stopped working in the restaurant, I've never made it again. But I did love a tart tatin. But I don't think I've ever had a savoury one. No, I don't think I have had a savoury one. But that does sound really nice. You can imagine that with like a nice gravy. Oh, that with a nice gravy and some mashed potato. Ideal. Although I could serve anything with a mashed potato. So this is quite a solid cabbage. I'm sure this isn't the proper way of doing this, but it normally works for me. So yeah, so this, well, as far as I'm aware, this just helps to kind of break it up a little bit. And I find that it makes it a lot easier for me to digest. I suppose it's maybe a very, very quick, almost heading towards sauerkraut kind of idea. And because it's kind of fermented, it's a lot easier for people with IBS to digest. Oh, right, oh, cauliflower's ready. I'm going to just do this quickly and then I'll get the cauliflower out and we'll put the glaze over it. Yeah, so you can actually, I can feel that that's starting to get a bit softer. And you're getting a wee bit of kind of liquid out of it. So I would say that's good. And I'll just leave that to sit just now while I deal with the cauliflower. There's quite a lot to this now, actually. I've still got quite a lot to do. Oven gloves. Yeah, so we've got some that are looking better than others, but it's not looking too bad. So some of them you can see that the batter has stuck onto it really well and you've got like a proper little bite. And then some of them, the batter's run off a tiny bit and it's sitting in a bit of a pool, but I mean it's still fairly solid, so I'm quite happy with that. Quite hot though. So I'll grab our glaze again. Is that off? Yes. I just want to kind of move them all about a wee bit, just to get them all unstuck from the paper. See, that's what I ended up like with once. I did the batter too thin. Where are you? There you are. So I got the whole sheet of cauliflower was joined together like that with all the batter in the middle, so that was a bit of a disaster, but we've only got a couple of bits like that, so I would say I'm quite happy with that. Getting hungry. Me too, Yelene, me too. But not too far away now. They do look quite good, don't they? I think that's the best they've turned out so far when I've made them. So I'm just going to kind of dollop some of the sweet chilli and Frank's hot sauce on the top. And that's just going to give them a nice kind of sticky, sweet and spicy glaze. Because you want that kind of the sticky. Is that popcorn? Well, I suppose it's sometimes called like popcorn chicken, isn't it? So no, I mean that would be huge bits of popcorn. But this is cauliflower in a kind of a batter of, it was that long ago I can't remember what I put in it. Water, flour, and some paprika and some garlic powder, I think. I think that was everything. Oh, there's something that's catching my throat. That. Whew. I think it might be the Frank's hot sauce. So I mean, you could spend ages and turn them all over and make sure all your edges are kind of coated, but well, that's nice. That's lucky. That's nice, thank God, because it's my lunch, so slightly disappointing if it didn't work. Right, so now I've done that. I'll pop these back in the oven for about 10 minutes. I'm going to add the tofu. I'm hoping that the tofu is only going to take about 10 minutes. Because this is the one so I'm going to try half baked tofu, half fried. And we'll see which one turns out best. So I'm just going to add, I don't know if you can hear that, but the cat who was at the vet is now battering at the cat flap. 6 and 7, that's fine. What is it? Come on in. I think she's taking the mic. What is it? Oh dear. Right, we've got her sorted. Okay, so these are ready to go back in the oven. I'll pop them in for 10 minutes and then that'll give us time to finish off the slaw and to fry off all the other bits. Right, what will I do first? I think I'll do the slaw and then we'll have the whatchamacallits, the fried bits will be nice and fresh still. So to my cabbage, I'm just going to add some thinly sliced red onion and then some grated carrot, and then we'll just add our dressing of vegan yogurt and vegan mayo. Half might be enough, but I'll chop up half and see how it's looking. I do quite like a lot of onion in my coleslaw though. It's not great for me, but I really like the taste of red onion. Far away again. So just fairly finely slicing this up. And then we'll add it all together. Oh, so good. One thing I absolutely love red onion on is a smoked salmon. So if you've got like a cream cheese bagel with smoked salmon and some chopped red onion on the top, it's gorgeous. So good. But then I might be biased because obviously in Scotland we do smoked salmon well. I'll break that up a little bit and pop it in the bowl. What do we reckon? I think that's going to be enough actually, yeah. So leave that and then we'll do our carrot quickly. Again, I'll just do one and see how it's looking. Oh, salmon and bagels last weekend, nice. It's been a long time since I've had them. But there's just something so nice about salmon on bagels. That's our Christmas breakfast, is always bagels and smoked salmon. And then I like to put the red onion on top with a little bit of, you know, the mustard and dill sauce that you get in IKEA? A little bit of that on the top. Oh, so good. So good. Where's my... I've done it again. Honest to God. I use my grater that often, it is absolutely never clean. See, I think salmon with white onion would be just as nice. I think you do need that wee bit of something, and the wee bit of crunch is nice as well. Try not grate my fingers. But the beans are looking good. I'm glad that I put them on so early because they've proper thickened up even without the thickening like mixture. So I'll maybe add a little bit, but I don't think I'll need too much. I put capers. Oh, capers, that is fancy. That is fancy. That's like a Christmas breakfast type thing. I've only recently realised that I can tolerate capers. I always thought the smell of them, I was like, that's not for me. But I put them on, what did I have? A pizza. Recently, a homemade gluten-free pizza. Really, really nice. So this is amazing. So I think they would be nice in pasta as well. So that's going to be the next thing that I try. But yes, that's definitely a fancy ingredient. Okay, I think that's going to be enough for the slaw, and then I can go on and fry the bits and pieces. So it's mainly cabbage with a bit of carrot and some red onions. And with this part, I do tend to just kind of eyeball it and see what looks right. So I'm using this, the Alpro plain no sugars. I only just realised that this exists because I kept buying the Alpro plain one, but I always thought there's something in it that tasted a bit sweet, and if I was to use it for like a dressing or a yogurt dip with meat or something, it always kind of put me off because it tasted a bit sweet, and I thought, I don't know if it's just me, but this tastes weird. And then I found that there's one with no sugar. I thought, well, maybe that's why. So I've got the one with no sugar, and it smells like regular yogurt. So I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons to begin with. And I quite like to half it between the yogurt and the mayonnaise, because I find sometimes if you just do mayo, it can be quite thick and gloopy. But I find that if you add the yogurt in, then it freshens it up a wee bit, and then you don't feel quite as guilty eating a load of it because you're not full of mayo. And again, it should be vegan mayo, but I hope you won't be too upset with me. So that's coming together quite nicely. And then I'm just going to add a wee drop of herbs. That is a wee drop in it. That is a fairly wee drop. Now I'll put a wee bit more in. Just a tiny bit, so probably about a teaspoon. Oh, don't, Buff, I knew you were going to say that. I'm going to put it away again. I've apologised for the mayo about 6 times. Oh, thank you very much for the 100 bits, Elaine. Much appreciated. Look, the mayo's gone. It's got, oh no, you can still see it. It's gone. Can you still? No, it's gone. We're okay. No one, don't tell anyone. No one knew. Well, I thought either it's protect. To be fair, I mean, the thing is, I could have lied to you, and I could have put it in a little dish and said, "Oh, this is vegan mayo," but I'm not like that. So what you see is what you get here, and I'll try harder next time. I thought I was doing so well as well, trying to make sure absolutely everything else was vegan, and then I checked and I thought, oh no, I've only got the regular stuff. But yeah, I'll put myself in a timeout for that faux pas. I'll see, we're all ganging up me now. Right, where was I? So you've thrown me off completely. How do you make mayo without eggs though? It's a good question. I'm not honestly sure, because the mayo that I get, the vegan one, it's the Heinz. Is it the Heinz or the Hellmann's one? I think it's the Hellmann's one. And it tastes similar to mayo. It's not the same, but it is similar. But it's a lot sharper. So I think they've got a lot more vinegar in it. But then surely they would need something to kind of bind it. I don't think the vinegar would do that. I would need to Google it. We'll see. We're all thinking, oh. Everything else is vegan. I'm not vegan, so if you are vegan, if you're making the coleslaw, use vegan mayonnaise. And I'm sorry, and I won't do it again. But yeah, I would need to Google it. I'm not honestly too sure. Immersion? What's immersion, bro? Oh, I don't know. I think there would need to be something to substitute the eggs. I don't know how you would do that. I really am not sure. I'll Google it and I'll see what ingredients are in the Hellmann's vegan one. Okay, we're nearly there. Right, do you want to see the beans? You can, yes, but then I struggle with that again because I can't eat chickpeas. So that's one that I can't use as a substitute, which is annoying. But I've seen like people make meringues and stuff from that, and that always looks really good. Right, I'm gonna switch these over so you can see what I'm doing over here now. So our beans, I would say, are looking pretty good. I mean, it says to thicken them. I'm not sure I'm going to. I'm gonna try them. Need more soy sauce, I think. They're really sweet. Oh, I can't forget them. Yeah. Seen recipes with apple cider vinegar, soy milk, and sunflower oil. Yeah. That's what I thought, because I was amazed that they managed to get it so close without the egg. Whew. Ooh. Right, they're nearly ready. If you're going to thicken a vegan sauce. Yeah, see, that's it. If I was thickening a vegan sauce. I mean, sometimes I think for thickening, we use a lot of cashews in vegan cooking. So I wonder if there's maybe some kind of like cashew powder that you could use. That does make things go kind of thick and creamy, and a lot of the times a lot of the times you would like soak the cashews and then blitz them up to make like a creamy sauce. A lot of, if you get like a vegan pasta sauce, it's quite often made with cashews. See, normally if I was thickening a vegan sauce, I would just use gluten-free flour, corn flour, or xanthan gum. Unless xanthan gum would work, because it kind of sticks together. I'm not sure actually. I'll look into that, Buff, and I will come back to you. I'm not quite sure, but there must be a way of doing it. Otherwise, they wouldn't get anything made. Right, so I'm just adding a little bit more of the soy sauce. Oh, excuse me, the soy sauce, because it was very sweet before. And then I'm going to add a tiny bit of the thickening, just to get a little bit thicker, because I think it is a little bit thin. And then we need to fry off our bits and pieces. No, yeah. These stuff is way up my hand on foot. Yeah, I mean, I'm quite new with it all still, and I am enjoying sort of experimenting a wee bit, but I feel like with vegan cooking, there's definitely a lot more sort of chemistry to it, maybe, because you're trying to substitute or create things without using most of the things you would use in regular cooking. Oh, another one that you use it's normally in vegan baking, is that agar, which is like a vegan substitute for gelatin. I don't think that would really work in mayo. Oh, I have got a bean stuck in my throat. Okay, I'm gonna get a move on because I am so hungry right now. Right, so I'm gonna start frying off the bits and pieces. So we've got our mushrooms and our tofu. Again, these aren't going to take very long to fry, so we'll just stick them all in the pan. I'm going to turn my oven off because it's nearly done. That's done. That's nearly done. We're nearly there. We're nearly there. Okay. And that's to be deep fried. I'm not a fan of deep frying, but I'm gonna shallow fry, especially if you saw me with my katsu curry. That was dangerous, so we don't want that again. Maybe just a tiny bit more. Yeah, I think with vegan cooking it is very much you need to kind of take the time and figure out how things work and how to replicate things, and what ingredients to use, because I think there are quite a lot of vegan ingredients that you wouldn't tend to use in like other cooking. So it's stuff you're not really going to be aware of. So it's almost like you have to discover those first and then be like, right, okay, how do I do this and what do I use for different things? But it's interesting. It is quite, I think as well, because I do the food blogging, so many people are sort of going vegan or trying to eat more vegan stuff. I find it, a lot of people sort of say, oh, it's really handy to know what I can and can't eat, especially if I'm gluten-free and vegan, because you're limited in a lot of different meals that you can have. So it is interesting to try and kind of figure out what you can make and how to. Yeah, and I think the thing with vegans is a lot of the time it's like what's the word? It's for sort of animal reasons, but it's not because you don't enjoy the taste of things, but it's more the ethical reasons behind it. So you still would like to eat the stuff that you've eaten before, just without the animal products. It's just trying to find like substitutes for things and make it tasty just without the meat or dairy or whatever. Okay, so we're getting there with the heat on that one. I'm intrigued to see how these mushrooms go. It's not hot enough. it's not hot enough. I mean, those beans look pretty good. I hope you can see them okay. I think but they look pretty good. I'm impressed with that. Right, we're getting there with these as well. Where's get my tongs out. Do I even want to bother with my tongs today? I think genuinely one of these days I will go and get new tongs, and it'll be the best stream ever because I'll have much better tongs. But until then, you're going to have to put up with me moaning about these daft rubber ones. Yeah, I think our oil is about hot enough now. Can start popping these in. Almost, not quite. Come on. I don't want to go too hot because I did that the last time. Nearly blew up the kitchen. Right, that's coming along now. Oh, you can hear it sizzling. So I'm just going to try and put as much of this in the pan at one time as I can. Mainly just because I'm getting impatient and I really want to eat. Right, so obviously the tofu is quite chunky, so it's going to take a little bit longer. But I'll just, once the mushrooms are done, I'll just take them out and leave them to the side. I don't think they should take too long. I mean, is that crispy? Not quite. Not quite crispy, but nearly there. I think my pan seems to be on a bit of a slant. Oh, it's warm. Whew. I'm not used to this heat anymore. Yeah, I'm very intrigued to see how these mushrooms are. There we go, that one's nice and crispy. That's what we want. Ooh, that looks interesting. I wasn't sure how they would be. You ever done tempura? I have done... Right, so what's the difference between tempura and like beer battered fish? Is that the same? We'll be looking for a bit. Got to make some lunch. No worries at all. I hope you have a nice lunch, whatever you're having. If you come back, you can tell us what you had. These look good. They do look quite... I'm quite impressed already, actually. The mushrooms are looking better than I thought they might. I thought they might be a bit of a letdown. Oh, so tempura, instead of using like beer for the batter, you use, is it sparkling water? I don't think I have actually, if that's the case. Oh, these iced water. No, I have not. But I would definitely be up for giving it a bash. Is it something you do quite a lot? What would you tend to tempura? Is it just like fish? I think it's fish and veg normally, isn't it? Oh, these are lovely and crispy. My pan is definitely on a slope. Seafood and veg. Tempura is different and can be crispier. Yeah, because it almost kind of puffs up a little bit, doesn't it? I am a big fan of tempura. I don't eat it a lot. I think I get the fright of my life there. The window cleaner's just arrived. I get such a fright. Yeah, seafood and veg. I do like a bit of tempura, but yeah, as I was saying, it's not something that I get offered very often. And I think deep frying kind of freaks me out a little bit. So I'm trying to get into it a bit more, obviously, by doing a few different bits and pieces, but it's not something I love doing yet. I think it's a bit scary. Generally lighter too. Using sparkling water is nice. Some recipes use vodka. I hadn't heard of that. That's really interesting. I tempura monkfish tail a few weeks back. Oh, I love monkfish tail. That does sound good, especially in tempura. I think we're almost there with all of this stuff now. Maybe a good idea to invest in a wok for deep fry. I have a wok. Yeah. I think I just thought because I was doing a few different pieces that the pan would give me more space for it all. And I always feel like if you're doing a wok, then obviously because it's got the small bottom, that you're only going to be able to a few bits, otherwise they'll all kind of end up on top of each other. But if a wok's better for deep frying, I will definitely try that the next time. Because I have quite a good big wok, so actually that makes a lot of sense now you've said that, but I wouldn't have come to that more. Why a wok's better? Yeah, I think that's it. I think a wee explanation would be ideal. Right, I would say these are looking good. It's definitely not deep frying anymore because the oil's almost all gone, but at least I've not wasted any oil, so that's good. Deeper and easier to do batter that requires more than a shallow fry. Right, so if you were doing tempura, really you should be doing it in a wok. That makes sense. I might try that because I do like a bit of tempura. Right, our mushrooms are done. The window cleaner is going to be like, what is going on in there? But after he scared the life out of me, I'm not telling him. That'll show him. So I've just got my 2 plates here that I'm just popping the stuff on. And I've just put a little bit of kitchen roll on the 2 of them to soak up any excess oil, so that they're not really kind of oily tasting and greasy. Right, I'll get rid of that now. Okay, so if I show you, so there we've got our fried tofu, which looks nice and crispy, and then we've got our fried mushroom, which, I mean, it is nice and crispy. So I'm excited to try that now. Right, so the last thing I need to do is, actually I think the beans are good. It's taken me that long to make everything else that I think the beans are thick enough. I think they could be a tiny bit thicker. Right, so to thicken it up, I'm just going to use a tiny bit of water and a little bit of flour. And I'll just add it and bring it to the boil to boil the flour off. Looks good. It does look good. I'm quite pleased with it so far. And then once everything's done, we get to the good part of plating it up and using my arts and crafts from this morning. Right, I've added most of that in, and I'm just gonna bring this up to the boil quite quickly. Oh, now you can't see anything at all. Yeah, that's definitely, it kind of almost looks a wee bit creamier as well now. And then I think what I'll do is I will just clear this bit up a bit. And then I can bring over all the bits and pieces and put it together. Oh, I really have got in a mess now. Where's my cloth gone? There it is. So this will be probably my first anything that resembles a KFC in maybe 6 years. Could be something like that. There we go, that's what we want. Nice and thick. Good. And I don't know if you've seen it earlier, I got creative with this one and made my very own copper confetti fried chicken-ish bucket. Just ignore what it says popcorn at the bottom. So I'm now going to try and figure out a nicer way of plating it all up. This is where the food blogger bit should come in. Because we're going to need to do a little bit of magic. Big. It's definitely a bit of Blue Peter going on here. Oh, that's too big. Oh, that may work. Literally, the bucket is the same size as all of my plates. Maybe one of these, is that smaller? Because you've got to make it look the part. Why is everything the exact same size? I thought I was being really clever, but I'm kind of stuck now. Do you know what I could do? Tin foil. I had wondered about tin foil. That's a lot of tin foil though. Hello Grievous Mink, how are you today? Happy Friday. Don't mind me, there's a bit of Blue Peter going on here. If you know what Blue Peter is, actually. I think it might need to be tin foil. See, this is a good thing about food blogging, is that while I would be doing this off camera, you would just see how wonderful it looks at the end. And none of this process. Blue Peter from, no. Good guess, but no. Sorry. Nice. No, it's looking good. Good call, Buff. Thank you for that. Yeah, if you like that kind of thing. I think that's pretty good. Right. Let's get our cauliflower. It's cooled down now, that's good. Hey, my tongs. And then I'm just going to try and make this look quite, I'm going to turn it around this way so I can see how it looks from this side. Well, it's only 7:30, you're quite alright. I fully understand, that's still pretty early. I'm glad I'm still here though, that's good. It's taken me quite a long time to make this. But, final stretch now. So this is a bit, see, this is a bit that I like, I quite enjoy. Up for work anyway, nice. Hope you've got a good day at work today. It is Friday, so hopefully it's not quite as stressful as some other days. Look about right. And then, right, so here we've got, I'll show you this up close. So here we've got our two different kinds of tofu. So this is a deep fried one, and this is the oven baked one. I mean, I possibly could have baked them for slightly longer, because I did get a bit bored, but the fried ones are definitely crispier, which I'm not really surprised about, but I would say both of them look good. So if you were trying to be a bit healthier, I think the oven baked ones would also be a good option. But it's good to have a bit of both. Oh, what a bucket this is. What a bucket. And then we'll stick in. I know it's a bit early in the morning for a variety chicken bucket. Unless you're still up from the night before, I suppose. I'm really pleased for that. That looks a lot better than I was expecting it to. I did at one point think, is this going to look like an absolute disaster? But I would say, that looks amazing. I'm so pleased. Right, I'll show you up close. So here, we've got our chicken variety bucket. You can see we've got all the fried mushrooms, the fried and baked tofu, and then we've got our buffalo chicken. I usually have a chicken biscuit for breakfast. Well, there you go, it's not too crazy. I've heard of worse. Right, and then I'm just going to quickly do the two little sides, and then I'm going to go and eat it because I'm absolutely starving. And then I'll probably spend the afternoon cleaning up the kitchen. Yeah, I just need two little bowls for the sides. I've got blue ones, they don't really match, but I can maybe use these. Oh, thank you, Mink, much appreciated. I'm glad it's all come together eventually. Oh, it was a bit hit hit or miss, touch and go in the middle there. But we got there in the end. And then we've got our little pot of beans. Oh, that's cute. Right. don't mind me, I'm just admiring my own work. Tidy this up a wee bit so I can get some photos as well when I'm done. Turn it around so you can see the nice label. And then we've got our beans. And I'll stick a wee bit of coleslaw in. The vegan coleslaw, before anyone says anything. Go in. There we go. Right, so if I bring it back a wee bit, you can see it. I was just waiting for it. Right, so finally we have our fake KFC vegan chicken bucket. So I've called it copper confetti fake chicken, although that would work. So the idea was copper confetti fried chicken-ish, because it's not actually chicken. The beans were, oh god, what was in that? It was a recipe, there is it. So the recipe was vegetable stock, water, Worcester sauce, which I substituted for soy sauce, smoked paprika, and a little bit of vegetarian fish sauce, ketchup, tomato paste, brown sugar, white wine vinegar, garlic powder, black pepper, salt. Put it all in, cook it for a bit, add your tin of haricot beans, just leave it to kind of simmer for ages, and then added a little bit of flour and water mixed just to thicken it up at the end. But I'll pop the recipe for all of the bits on my Discord when I'm finished, so you can go on, and if you want to try anything, it'll all be up there. But I'm so pleased with that. Thank you very much, Johnny. We got there eventually. Love the bucket. Yeah, that was me last night at about 7 o'clock running through Asda trying to find. It was literally as I walked into the shop, someone walked out with one of these, and I was like, I wish I could have run over to them and asked where they got it, because I spent about half an hour hunting for it in the shop. Yeah, I still need to do that, Mink. Sorry, I've not set it up, but it'll be on the Discord, definitely. I'll put it on as soon as I've had my lunch. So if I show you from this side, you can maybe see it a wee bit closer. Oh. So there we go. Yeah, it's a popcorn bucket, which I stuck a label on. So that is our fake chicken bucket, KFC style, with a couple of sides, a quick slaw and some baked beans. And I don't know about anyone else, but I am starving, so I'm going to have to go and eat this now. But thank you all for being here again. I hope you enjoyed it. Do let me know if you try any of it once I put the recipes up on Discord. Have a wee nosy, and if you try it, let me know and send me pictures, because I would love to see it. And I'm gonna find, oh, there's 14 of us, so that's good. So I'll see if anyone has a, is that gonna come up? It should, maybe not. I'll add that to my list of other things I need to fix. So I'm going to go on and quickly raid someone while we're still here. If anyone has any suggestions or who would deserve a raid, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to see who's online and quickly send them some love while I go and eat. Right, who is on? Oh, Purple Coffins is on. Yeah, let's all go and say hello to Purple Coffins. Yes. Good call, Buff Bagel. Right, let's do that. Where are you? Come on. Oh, I think my computer's just given up now as well. Oh. Right, so yes, thank you again for all being here. Recipes will be up on the Discord. I hope you all have a lovely Friday or Saturday or wherever it is you are now. I'm sure that made sense. I'm going to go and eat lunch. Let's go and say a quick hello to Purple Coffins. Stay, I feel like she's playing Spiritfarer, which I think looks really, really good fun. Nice, chilled out. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Good call. You could tell it stopped functioning completely. Yeah, so she's playing Spiritfarer, which looks like a really good fun game. Nice and chilled out. So let's head over there, say hello, and then I'm going to go and eat. But thank you again for all being here, and I hope you have a great Friday, and I'll see you again hopefully on Sunday. Bye bye. Almost. We're reading. Bye, Mink. Hopefully see you on Sunday. Have a good shift, and see you all soon. Bye bye.
Live earlier when I started. I hope that you're having I hope you're having a good day. I hope you had a successful stream. What did you make? And hello, Sultan. Welcome in. And Bagel. Look, I know all these people. Hello. Welcome in. How's everyone doing? We're playing Spiritfarer. It's a super chill game. It's really good. I'm quite a little ways through it. So obviously if you want to play it, maybe some spoilers ahead. But hello. And Iulion. Is that your name? Iulion. Welcome in, everyone. If you don't know me, my name is Lara. I am a cooking streamer as well. I'm also Scottish, but I'm not cooking today. I'm playing through Spiritfarer. I cook on Wednesdays.